Oh, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be your astrological overview video for the month of April. Welcome back if you're new, or if you are supporting Patreon. Thank you for being here. We're going to be talking about the month of April. This is a big month, guys. This is probably the biggest month of the whole year. There's so many important, let me move the mouse. There's so many important aspects and transits that are happening this month that is really basically setting the tone for the rest of the year and beyond. There's just so much we can talk about. So, if you're here, I eventually will post this on YouTube, closer, because I'm recording this on March 23rd, 2024. So I'll probably post it maybe like next week or something if I'm able to. But I will post it on Patreon first, so if you're supporting Patreon, you get this exclusive and early access to this video. So if you want to support my channel and just get more of these horoscopes or whatever, join my Patreon. I'll put that in the description below. Or if you're just watching this on YouTube and you want to subscribe to my channel just to see new videos that I post, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell whenever I post a video. You'll be notified. Like the video, share the video, if just to grow it. It's gonna be, it's kind of your choice, but this is what I do. I've been doing this. I've been doing these videos the past couple months, trying to try something new. I'm gonna eventually talk about give horoscopes basically about how the month of will unfold for all 12 zodiac signs. Stay to the end of the video because I will do that towards the end of the video. So if you want to know what's going on, I'm going to try this out. This is the first time I'm actually trying this. The last month I did, the only thing I talked about was the new moon in Pisces and the lunar eclipse in Libra. I talked about some of the house placements of each zodiac, where it's falling into. So what we'll do in this video is we'll kind of talk about the whole general overview. And then, eventually, go through every important thing that's happening in the month of April. And then after we're done with that, we'll try to make it, I don't know, we'll see about half hour. Let's just say half hour for right now for the overview. Maybe that's a little too long, but I don't know. Give it about a half hour. And then towards the end, after we're done with this, we'll kind of go through all the zodiac signs and explain all the important aspects that is happening for each sign. What area these important aspects are happening in, stuff like that. So I'll try to transform into, or I guess that's my plan for the video. So let's get started. All right, so April 2024, what's happening this month? I can actually, I'm assuming this is screen sharing, so you can actually see what's on my screen. Which is going to make this more handy, I guess you could say, because last month I was using my, the whiteboard or whatever, trying to film from my laptop too. I was trying to film my laptop, from my laptop, this video, but it wasn't working. So I'm on my other computer. Hopefully this is going to work out and stuff like that. Ignore the dogs barking outside. So let's get started on this. So the first thing happening right now, Mercury's about to station retrograde. That's the whole highlight of what April is about, is this Mercury retrograde in Aries. So let me see. It shows it on, let me go, okay, we'll just skip to the second. You can see the little R right here. That means Mercury's basically stationed retrograde. It's going to be going backwards from our perspective on Earth. But it's kind of like an optical illusion when a planet, looks like it's going backwards and not forward, motion or whatever. When a planet is going direct. So that's how we kind of view the astrology, or space, you can call it, or whatever, of what's happening in the night sky or whatever, or just in the universe, the sky that we see from Earth. So Mercury will station retrograde in Aries. Mercury entered shadow on March 18th. I think the last video I said it was March 20th that he'll enter shadow, but I was 2 days off because I was like looking on Twitter and seeing all these astrologers say that Mercury's going to shadow on the 18th instead of the 20th, and I was like, did I get that wrong? I guess so. It was March 18th that Mercury entered shadow right on the North Node. I think it was at 14, 15 degrees of Aries. And now Mercury's gone all the way to 27 degrees of Aries, over these last couple weeks. So whatever important thing that has been going on, towards the end of March, the last 2 weeks, so to say, that has kind of been building up onto what's about to change, what we need to go back over, what we need to redo and rethink of, and stuff like that. That like the Mercury pre-shadow territory is like the preview of what this whole retrograde is going to be all about. And depending on where Aries is, sits for your chart, this is going to be the themes in the area, like what's going to be happening in that area of life for you. So if you know where Aries is in your chart, look at that. See what's about to change. See what what you need to kind of rearrange, and do a little this, do a little that, like redo overs, do-overs or redo something. So when Mercury went on to the North Node, there was like a message or something. Something happened that day because the North Node is something that we are heading in, it's our North Star, basically. We're heading into that direction wherever the North Node sits. And it's in Aries, and that's about, embracing our own individuality, our autonomy. I think that's the right word. What we need for ourselves in order to grow during this storyline where the nodes are at, in Aries and Libra and stuff like that. And we just had that lunar eclipse on the 25th of March. So that was a huge let go, purging kind of period of time, whatever, so to say. But now we're going to be, going towards this, you can see the moon in this chart is in Capricorn this time. And it's starting to wane towards that solar eclipse. That solar eclipse in Aries on the 8th of April is going to be one heck of a time. That's going to be one massive start of something new. This is kind of like new moons are about refreshing, starting over, starting things, starting a new cycle, basically. But it's an eclipse, so it's kind of like, as most astrologers would call it, an eclipse is like a new moon or a full moon on steroids. It's to the max of like what kind of energy is being reset or culminating towards its fullest point, stuff like that, fullest form. So that's kind of like what we're in. This little 2-week period during as Mercury starts to stop and station retrograde. We're in eclipse season. This is not gonna feel easy. First of all, to put that out. I mean, we've all been feeling this. We've all been feeling, things kind of just slow down. Things need to basically stop, take a U-turn, go back over some things that we kind of really need to focus on of what's good for ourselves and change things about, our lives or what needs to be changed. Because eclipse season, that's basically the universe or whatever higher source you follow basically telling you, things need to change. This is a rearranging kind of period of time. And, there's just so many layers to this. I can go on and on talking about this eclipse season and how Mercury retrogrades on top of that. It's going to be a little wild, a little chaotic. Things not working the way it's supposed to. Mercury in Aries is how, Mercury's about how we communicate and how we think and, basically process information. When it's in the sign of Aries, it can be very blunt, very to the point, very, sharp tongue. I'm going to say this without, it's a very confrontational kind of energy, so it's going to be cutthroat. It's going to hurt. I'm sure people have been, dealing with this kind of energy since Mercury's been in Aries since March 9th. And then he won't leave the sign of Aries until May something. I don't know what day, but it's towards the middle part of May, maybe the end of May or something. But we're going to have Mercury in Aries for 2 months, so I can go on and on, guys, but we got to move on, though. Okay, so the next thing happening will be, as we can see right here, Venus is forming a conjunction to the planet Neptune. And, okay, so Venus in Pisces, first of all, is just a wonderful transit. It's probably one of the best times out of the whole year we get from, the planet of love, of beauty, what's enjoyable, pleasures, how we find things attractive to, or something like that. What our desires are for. And Venus in Pisces, she's exalted in the sign of Pisces. She loves to be in this sign. This is her, basically, her favorite sign to be in. I mean, even though she rules Taurus and Libra, she is like a guest. But like, it's like an exalted planet in that sign is basically a guest, but it's like you're an honored guest. I don't know, like, I don't know how to like describe it, but it's like it boosts your confidence. It boosts the level of how you're expressing whatever planet's in their exaltation sign. And this is Venus. This is like expressing more love. But here's the kicker, though. Saturn's been in this sign, and now we have Mars into the sign, and that's another important thing. This Mars-Saturn conjunction that's happening in the sign of April, in the month of April, in the sign of Pisces, but that Mars conjunction to Saturn is bringing. It's going to bring a little huge stop to where we're going. But we'll get to that. That's like one of the. There's so many things. I'm just trying to giving you little pieces by pieces and step by step. But this Venus in Pisces transit probably hasn't been the most enjoyable because Venus passed over Saturn. We got serious. Things had to be. We needed to discipline ourselves when it comes to love, relationships, what we find attractive. Because Venus in Pisces is just all about, rose-colored glasses, everything being, rainbows and unicorns and just happy-go, energy. But because Saturn's been in here, it's been kind of bringing that reality of okay, we're gonna limit the fun that you usually can enjoy. I guess when any planet goes to Pisces, but when Venus, the exaltation ruler. I know, it's kind of a lot of information. But now that kind of Venus has passed over Saturn, made that sextile to Jupiter, started to, get things a little bit lighter in the energy, more enjoyable, she gets towards Neptune. I mean, Venus-Neptune conjunctions, or any aspects, even if it's in a trine, or square, or conjunction, there's a lot of this is rose-colored glasses, how we're viewing things. Neptune can dissolve, or really yes, it can dissolve things. It can bring a lot of illusions. It can bring deception. It can bring stuff that might not seem real. Very fantasy-like. Being in the sign of Pisces, this is on drugs, being on drugs basically. So I mean, you want to watch yourself maybe around this time when Venus, the planet of enjoyment, connects with the planet of basically drugs and alcohol and just just illusions and deception, just stuff that isn't real. Getting lost. We're gonna feel lost around this time, and people are probably going to feel, if they're in a relationship or trying to get in a relationship, there's gonna be some things that we need to really face up and face that higher reality kind of check or whatever. Stuff isn't gonna feel real, but we're gonna need to I don't know. You just have to be careful because we could get so lost into anything involving love, spirituality, drugs, being attracted to someone and just going, not really having that, consequences, outlook or outcome or whatever the heck you're trying to do. It's gonna be very just elusive. It could go either way though. This could be good too. Maybe we need to get lost into something that makes us feel enjoyable. Not to really look at this is a bad transit, blah blah blah. Because this could be very positive. This could give us that unconditional type of love expressions, how we feel towards people, towards our lovers, towards any of our friends and stuff like that, But we could either just also, I feel like, involving, Venus is rules money. We can get, we can spend a little bit too much on, like desirable items and stuff like that. Crazy thing. I know. I am like, this is going to be a long video. I can just tell. So let's move on. That happens on the 3rd, basically. Let's see. The next thing happening is basically Venus going into Aries. So that's going to be on the 4th. Venus will enter Aries. This is the sign of her detriment. She's in the opposite sign, or as far as possible from her home sign of either Libra or, she rules Taurus. So when she's in the opposite sign of Scorpio, that's being in her detriment. She's as far as her, as far away from her home turf, if you want to call that. It's the opposite. But that doesn't mean this is a bad transit. Venus is going to still be Venus, be about love, expression, what pleasures us, what we find attractive and stuff like that. Going into this in the Mars world sign of Aries, this is going to bring a little feistiness, a little heat to what we want, That's kind of how I would describe it. This is going to, it's going to be a very feisty time. We're going to have to, we're going to want to go after what we want instead of it coming to us. When Venus was in Pisces, or if you have Venus in Pisces or in a rulership like Taurus or Venus, you're more receptive towards love, towards, drawing people in. When Venus is in a Mars world sign of Aries or Scorpio, it really kind of has to take the martial kind of energy and go after what we want to attract. And it's going to be different. I mean, this is going to bring a lot of, heated, just kind of sexy kind of energy. Like, it could be bad or good, but it doesn't matter. I think what I've heard about Venus and Aries, these are the type of people that like drama. They like to, bring that that confrontational, I don't know, kind of like that drama that, oh, I want to be involved, or oh, I want to poke the bear with the stick kind of vibe. They want to, jab at these people and kind of be involved. It's a weird transit, but yeah. But we're going to be very, we can be very impulsive. That's a very Aries type of keyword. Let's see, we can be very energetic and adventurous and fearless and something like that. That's kind of like the Venus and Aries vibe. So Venus will be in Aries. Actually, it's a very quick transit. She enters Taurus by the 29th, by the end of the month. So as soon as the beginning of April, she enters Aries. She's only going to be in Aries for maybe a few weeks, and then boom, she's into Taurus. It's going to be a quick transit, but I mean, it's not the biggest biggest thing that's going to happen this month. Let's move on. The same day, the Sun is basically conjoining the North Node. You could say it was on the 4th, which is the same day that she actually goes into Aries, but the Sun on the North Node. So like I was saying with Mercury on the North Node is what we are basically heading towards. It's the north. It's our north direction, or what's north, or whatever we're heading into, whatever stuff like that. The Sun is about our vitality. It's about how we shine and out in the world. And the Sun being in Aries, the Sun's exalted in Aries. Talking more about that exaltation. The Sun has been in Aries since the 19th of March, and the Sun loves to be in Aries. Just as the Sun's probably like Venus being in Pisces, the Sun loves to be in Aries. This is probably its favorite sign to be in. The Sun in Aries. This is kind of this is the astrological new year. So happy astrological new year. But Aries is that starting point. It's that spark. It's that, the seeds have been planted. Now it's time to grow, And the Sun in Aries can be very, it likes to take the initiative. It can be very ambitious, energetic, very active, go-getter type of energy. It's a cardinal sign. It's a, think, or, jump and do something, think later, stuff like that. It's a very pioneer type of energy. And, we've had this North Node in the sign of Aries since July of 2023. And we're about a year into this, storyline. And as these planets start to hit the North Node, this is like boom, like there's something being planted here. There's something starting here. There's something that we really, really want. That's the North Node in Aries or in anywhere. That's how the North Node is. It's the dragon's head. It's Rahu. And I believe it's Vedic or Indian astrology. That's another word for the North Node, Rahu. It's that, consuming, it wants all this, it wants to consume all this stuff wherever the North Node sits in the sky or even in your own birth chart. It's a very, just, and I don't know, it's a very, heated, very feisty, very just, it's a spark, it's something that's attracting us. And I feel like being in the sign of Aries, it's like real, it's like taking it to the next step. It's like 0 to 100 real quick kind of energy. Okay, we got to move on. So that's kind of like this, that's basically an overview of how these planets are going to be going over the North Node. So the next thing basically happening is Venus is making a sextile to Pluto. We go to, we'll just say about the 6th, the 5th or 6th, Venus sextile Pluto. Venus is, very feisty, very ooh, this is what I want. I'm getting a little, little frisky in my desires of what I want. And having this 30-degree angle to Pluto, Pluto's like, okay, here's an encouragement. Here's a little stepping, boosting that confidence or that energy that you will gain when you, want something. You'll feel, this is like a powerful kind of type of energy. Because that's what Pluto is. Pluto is about power. It's about corruption. It's about destruction. What's the word? Basically breaking things down and then building up something new. Rebirth, death, stuff like that. That's Pluto. This is going to give us that confidence of what we want. This is going to give us that extra boost of ooh, this is what I want. This is what I'm going after and stuff like that. That's kind of how I can see it. It's a sextile, so it's not going to be the biggest transit in the world. But it's a little boost, a little opportunity to gain a little power into what we want. All right, the next thing happening is basically this solar eclipse. So let's actually go to where are we at? Okay. Okay, right there. Yes, okay. So look at this. The sun, the moon, basically on the North Node, what is it, 4 degrees away? That makes it basically a total solar eclipse. If it was pretty farther from the North Node, it would be called a partial eclipse or annular. I think that's what it's called. But look, the sun and the moon are all at 19 degrees, and look who else is at 19. Chiron, the wounded healer. I can basically talk about, because it happens on the same day, on the 8th of April. So we all know this is the biggest, this is when the solar eclipse is happening. This is, this is going over kind of the East Coast from over Texas, kind of the Midwest in a way, going towards New York and Canada, Maine and stuff like that. It's kind of going in that pathway. And I'm sure most of us have seen on either whatever media you follow that there's been a lot of stuff coming out to the public. Stuff is going to be, it's going to be cloudy on this day. You're not going to be able to witness the solar eclipse. It's people have conspiracy theory people are oh, what are they trying to cover, blah, 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 by saying all that. They're what's going on in the background, blah, 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 stuff like that. Just think about the stuff that's going on around, basically, that has been going on over the last month, because this is going to be a continuation of what is being planted here. Lot of information, I know. And having the wounded healer Chiron on this solar eclipse, this is going to trigger some people, so to say, because Chiron is about what's our pains and wounds, our deepest wounds and stuff like that. It can be troubling, uncomfortable. So I don't know, what this on top of this solar eclipse, new moon, big thing, big start, massive start is happening. Seed is being planted wherever this is, in your chart. Something that's basically what an eclipse new moon is. You put Chiron on this. This is gonna either transform the way we, I guess, deal with these pains and wounds. Um, I don't know, like this is what I'm getting at, and over the next 6 months, we're gonna see this progress into something different. We're gonna see the fruits of our labor of why what was going on during this time is gonna be, basically culminated over the basically for the rest of the year, because that's as like until we get to the next set of eclipses in the fall. Big time, big solar eclipse, whatever your beliefs about, if there is conspiracy theories or something covering up during this time, you believe what you want to believe. But I just feel like that has a little bit of a, what is the word? Like I guess background, like, what is the word? Like, there's a word for this. Whatever. There's something going on. And something will be going on, in all of our lives. This is a change. This is a huge, shift into the energies. This is basically the end of eclipse season, because we had the lunar eclipse in the Libra a couple weeks ago, and then this is like, okay, this is the closing chapter of basically what's going on and opening a new chapter. Eclipses are times, especially, I guess you could say new moons or full moon, whatever, are letting go of old patterns, old people, just old ways of doing things, and like open and starting something new. Welcoming in. It's like closing an old door, closing a door that you basically have done with the chapter, and you're opening a new chapter. Basically, I'm like repeating myself, something like that. I've been trying. I finally tried this Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream, and it's actually really good, guys. I don't know if you guys tried it. Let me know in the comments if you tried it. I've been drinking it. I finally got it. It's interesting. It's pretty good. I just like it. Anyways, this is a big time, guys. Big start, massive time. There's gonna be triggers. It's gonna be there's gonna be triggers. There's gonna be stuff that is basically poking at our wounds at this time, and there's gonna be some sort of transformation of like how we deal with pains and wounds because Chiron is here. There's something here that's it's focusing on that. Chiron is being basically in the heart of the sun, being kazemied, being purified as the moon comes and joins him. There's something purifying about this Chiron energy of pains and wounds, and what we need to heal. And that's another thing in Chiron. It's the point of sky. It's the point in what shows our worst pains, but it shows us the key to how we can heal from this. So we're going to be healing from a lot of old stuff during this solar eclipse, and from this point on and forward. Maybe we need to let go of these hurtful things that we've been holding on to from ourselves. Chiron's in Aries, the sign of self. It's bringing this weakingness towards our sense of self, and it has been since it's been in the sign of Aries. But this point forward, this is purifying. This is releasing old stuff, old pains, old wounds that we have to do with, the self, our autonomy, our independence. Big things are happening during this solar eclipse, guys. I could talk about this like so long. The next thing happening is the ruler of this solar eclipse. Basically, hold on. A couple days later, Mars is forming a conjunction to Saturn. There's a lot to say about this. Hold on, I gotta take a drink. But before I, continue, I just want to kind of give a little advertisement of my merch. And if you're interested, I will put the description in the box below, because I'm having, I believe, a free standard shipping sale happening towards the end of March, but I do have a few sales going on in April. So, you don't want to miss that out. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, Facebook or TikTok or whatever, I post I don't really post too much on TikTok. It's just mainly the the monthly overview videos and stuff like that. Just kind of that's another thing. But if you follow me on social media, I will advertise all my sales going on. So if you're interested in that, I just made a new Aries design that looks really cool. It's a very colorful, bright type of like a ram on it. And it has like fire on the top and then little flames on the side, and it says Aries, and then it has a little Aries symbol. It looks really cool. I got the shirt and some joggers, and I just love it. You know, I love getting this. I can tell you guys how much I love this, but excuse me. But the reactions that I've had from other people, from my family, from people that I've worked with, friends and stuff like that, they love it. You know, they've given me the results, like the reviews of like them loving it. Not just me. So, and it makes me feel good when when other people, get something that they want, and that's kind of the whole point. I mean, I'm doing this because I love doing it, but it makes me feel better when other people start to enjoy, I guess, like what I'm promoting, what I can do for them. It's a gift, basically. I'm giving back in a way that's kind of cool. So, check that out. Please like the video. Another thing I want to say, please like the video, share, and subscribe if you are enjoying this and you want to see more of my videos. And if you want to join my Patreon, because this is going to be an exclusive video, and you'll get this earlier than when I post it on YouTube. Back to where we're going. Mars-Saturn conjunction on April 10th. This is probably one of the most highlight things. Maybe I would say the second biggest thing happening. Maybe third, if you want to count the solar eclipse and Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. It's like the top. It's one of the top things that is happening in April. I want to say something first. 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago? I think it was 4 years ago. Yeah, in 2020. Yeah, obviously, it was 4 years ago. Mars and Saturn made a form of conjunction basically where Pluto's at right now, at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And what happened? The world shut down. What I've heard from an astrologer that I follow, Cam White, one of my favorite astrologers, he was basically explaining this, saying, the sign of Aquarius is about the people. It's a crowd, it's everybody else. And when Saturn entered the sign of Aquarius, that was kind of like bringing that limitations, bringing some type of discipline of what we need to be, of what we need to deal with when it comes to people and working large groups of people and stuff like that. There was like a stop. As soon as Mars entered Aquarius that year and conjoined Saturn, there was a literally huge limitation, huge pull on the brakes. Like, Mars is about the go, go, go. I want to hit the gas as fast as I can and just charge, jump and think later. Saturn's the opposite. Saturn's like, hold on. We need to hit the brake. We don't need to go any further than where we're at right now. And it was just crazy to just see, to even think about. And that's when the pandemic started. And that was a whole thing that none of us were expecting. Some astrologers knew that something was going to happen, but they didn't know exactly. And it was so global that it literally, everything was just stopped. And it still blows my mind to this day. Not saying this is going to happen again, because we've had a couple other Mars-Saturn conjunctions. Well, there's actually one more before this one and after that one. And I think there was kind of a similar thing in China where things had to be, coming to a halt and, quarantine, stuff like that. So, as Mars conjoins Saturn, like I said, Mars is like the gas pedal, hitting it as fast as you can, but Saturn's like the holding on to the brake. You're like, wait, I'm not going yet. You want to go, but you're not sure if you're going. It's kind of like that's kind of an energy. Saturn is limiting Mars's. Speaking of Mars, look, I got my Mars and Virgo shirt, so I'm like, hey, we're talking about Mars. I just pointed that out. Okay, I'm just saying. But Mars wants to do, Mars and Pisces is weird. Anyways, let me give you, I guess, the layers. Mars and Pisces kind of just does what it does when it feels like doing it. It follows its intuitive, sorry, I got a text. Sorry, ignore that. Is there a way to mute this? Hold on. There you go. Okay. I believe it's on mute, so there's the mute. Okay. Whew. Let me see. Hold on. Where was I at? Okay, so Mars is kind of like in Pisces. It has triplicity rulership over. It's kind of neutral in this sign of how it does things. It's kind of, like I said, it's a weird transit. Saturn in Pisces. Saturn's been in this sign for about a year now. It's usually about a couple years to, 2.5 to 3 years when Saturn sits in a sign. So, since Saturn's been in Pisces, it's been kind of different. The vibes change. We've been since Saturn's been in Pisces, we've kind of been leaving that pandemic era that we've been in, over the past 4 years, basically. Past 5 years, if you want to say that. Whatever. Not really 5 years, but past few years. And, Saturn's kind of bringing that reality to, this outer worldly, boundless kind of vibe to it that usually Pisces has. And having Saturn here, it's been kind of like containing this boundless world, this spiritual world, and bringing us back down into reality. It's kind of bringing reality into this fantasy type of world. Not getting so lost in the sauce, containing yourself and stuff like that, bringing limits of, or bringing some type of discipline and not getting too much of this Pisces, energy. So Mars conjuncts Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so, I can go on about all of this stuff. I'm going to go on about all this stuff because there's so much to talk about, and we could go on for days and days. Mars-Saturn conjunction, this is going to bring a halt. This is going to bring some stop, hold on before you think about moving forward. You're going to have to just, hold the brakes and really plan on your long-term goals with more discipline. Looking at your long-term goals and what's going to happen if you do this, and that. Take these one-step things, step-by-step stuff in order to get to those goals. Mars is about short-term goals. It just wants to, do it as fast as possible just to hit our goal. But Saturn takes that slow-moving transit to make things a little bit more real, taking that one step at a time and stuff like that. It's a lot. So not saying there's going to be a pandemic or anything, but this is really just going to be just showing us like where we need to stop and take a second to like say, wait, this we can't go forward any longer. We need to really understand what we are going into, where our plans are going. Mercury is still in retrograde at this time, and the ruler is Mars, basically like being held back by Saturn. There's a lot, so just kind of watch yourself. Like if there's delays, obviously there's going to be delays because of Mercury retrograde, but this is going to bring like a huge delay of what we are trying to do. Not the biggest thing. Maybe some of us need that, to discipline ourselves a little bit more and, kind of understand where we're going into. I can talk about that for days. We need to move on. Basically, as we're getting into this, Mercury's coming into the heart of the sun. So let me kind of like do this real quick. Hold on. Okay, you can kind of see it like that. Okay. So Mercury, this is the Mercury Gazimi. This is the halfway point of the Mercury retrograde. We are finally understanding why our plans needed to change, why they were getting delayed. This, Mars has been conjunct Saturn during, most of the month of April. So things are not going to work the way that we want to. There's going to be rearrangements. There's going to be things that we need to change in order to move forward. And it's going to take the whole month of April to really figure out what we are basically going into, what direction we need to take. So just hold on, guys. This isn't going to be an easy month. Sad to say. I am not going to sugarcoat this. I am giving you the real life stuff. Like, it's just facts, you know? And this is what the astrology is saying in the month of April. This could be the best time of your life. This could be the worst time of your life. It's gonna go either way. So depending on your chart, you really need to like understand that it depends on if this could be good or bad. Okay? But Mercury Kazemi, this is the light bulb moment. This is like, oh, okay, now I understand why I needed to take this U-turn. This, I need to stop and then go back over and, miss information, miss things that I've missed, things that we've missed, in order to understand a redo, like a third pass of like, okay, we've gone over this rough draft, let's and we found the corrections, the incorrections of it. Now when Mercury goes direct, this is like, okay, this is the final, final level, final stage of, what we've learned, what we learned over this time, what we needed to change. Big things, big things. It's just like a domino effect. This, that. Like, it's the Mercury stationing retrograde, the solar eclipse in Aries, the Mars conjunct Saturn, this Mercury Kazemi. It's like boom, 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 boom. Okay, the next thing happening is, what do I got here? Venus is conjoining the North Node. Now, Venus. Here we go with the continuation of these planets going over the North Node. Venus, the planet of love, desires, what we're attracted to. You can call this sex. You can call this pleasures. You can call this anything that you love, or just, relationships, money, finances, stuff like that. This is going to be that, that boost, that energizing, that it's like you're drinking an energy drink, and then you're just like, boom, you got all this energy, you want more. You're going to have this like high kind of feeling, I'm like, it's going to kind of be like that. And it's, with relationships, the way we express our loves, the loves, like it's different ways, the way we, find pleasures, just a lot of this stuff. It's gonna bring this level to like a step ahead, like a step above. Like, I can go on and on and on. Okay, that's on the 17th of April. Okay, we're kind of in the halfway, going towards the middle, going towards the end of the month. But the next thing is basically, so yeah, Venus on top of the North Node. You're gonna like want a lot of things. Venus is already, doing things a little bit more impulsively than normal, and she's gonna want that feeling. She's gonna want more of that, just that fiery, that feistiness. This could even be confrontational as well. It can end up having fights in your relationships, or being that person that's like, this is what I want, and blah, 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 stuff like that. Giving you a few examples and stuff like that. Bunch of stuff. The next thing happening is the sun going into Taurus. So Taurus season is here. Okay. How do we do this? Okay. There's a lot of things like right here, so it's kind of like overlapping where this is at. Okay, so Taurus season is here on April 19th. So happy birthday to all the Tauruses. If I didn't say it, happy birthday to all the Aries. If you're celebrating at the end of March or at the beginning of April, stuff like that. We're in Taurus season now. Okay, this is when things are like really like, okay, we're starting to figure out, the growth of what started during Aries season. Aries season is the seed planting. We planted a seed during Aries season. Things are starting to grow slowly. We get into Taurus season, and we're starting to see things bloom. We are starting to see things grow and, basically bloom, like I said. The sun in Taurus. Let me get my Taurus keywords. So, the sun of Taurus, it's an earth sign. It's a Venus world sign. The sun will be in the sign of Taurus from April 19th to May 19th, May 20th, something like that. Something like that. The sign of Taurus is is a slow moving kind of transit. I just want to point something out because it's basically the next thing happening. It's a couple things happening, but look, Jupiter and Uranus are at 21 degrees of Taurus. This is the most, this is the most important thing of the whole month of April. Like, This is what astrologers have been waiting for. This is going to be explosive. We will get to it in just a second. As the sun goes into the sign of Taurus, we're going to start, grounding ourselves, planting our feet in the fleet, planting our feet into the ground. We are going to, this is where things start to stabilize. We're going to find some consistency to what we're doing. Taurus is a sign of, it's a fixed sign. This is about, keeping the energy fixed, not moving, not changing, just staying put in one spot. All fixed signs are like that. It's the middle part of each season. This is the spring. We're in the middle of spring by this time. But this is kind of gonna be like the energy of the next month. Finding that stability or shining your vitality towards what's stable, what you need to be stable, to feel stable. Okay, let's kind of move on. I can kind of talk more about it as we go, because the planets are going to start moving into Taurus at this point. The next thing going on is Mars forming this sextile to Jupiter and Uranus while it's in Pisces. This is cool. I know, you love this. As basically Uranus and Jupiter are coming together right now. This is giving a little bit of energy boost. This is giving a little push, a little, ooh, this is what I can do. Sparks are starting to shine at this point, let alone because of Jupiter and Uranus. The planet of Jupiter is the planet of growth, and Uranus is the planet of shock and awe. Lightning bolts, going outside the norm. Doing something different. Bringing a little bit of chaotic disruptions to what we're normally used to or what we're normally doing. And Jupiter is going to be growing that. Jupiter is going to be I can't express how crazy and massive this transit is going to be. I have been kind of looking at this transit, since Jupiter's been kind of passing over all these planets and stuff like that. But when I've researched, previous periods of I don't exactly know when or what happened, but when Jupiter conjoined Uranus, and it's such a cool, positive transit. It's gonna bring a little bit of chaotic energy, but there's Jupiter there, the greater benefic. He's the bringer of life, the bringer of life, or the gift of life, something like that. He gives gifts. He's the guru of the planets. Having Mars forming this sextile to Jupiter and Uranus will give us that little boost, little confidence of little fertile kind of energy. Because it's Taurus is an earth sign and Pisces is the water sign. It just goes together. It mixes well, really good. Water and earth signs go good together. Fire and air signs mix well together. This is just, I'm looking at this as this is giving that little extra confidence, extra boost into where we're heading into, the direction we are going into. There's many possibilities, literally, because of this Jupiter-Uranus transit. This is going to jolt us beyond our time of where we're going to find the sign of Taurus, growth, stability, security, how we ground ourselves, what we find comfort, enjoyable, commitments, affectionate, being sincere, persistent, consistent. It's a big transit, guys. I'm telling you, from this point on, we are going to be in a different, level, different dimension, if you want to get spiritual or conspiracy like that. That is just crazy. And then Mars forming that sextile to these two. Mars is on fire at this point. Mars is gaining that, that energy. That energy is starting to build from this point on. Mars is past that. Mars a conjunction with Saturn. So from this point on, this is gaining that energy, that fertilize. It's just good, guys. It's good. It's good. There's so much to talk about. Okay, so during this time, Venus is basically passing over Mercury as Mercury's moving backwards. Venus is moving forward. Kind of makes sense. Kind of a little confusing. Let me take a water real quick. I'll drink. Hold on. Venus passing over Mercury retrograde. This is kind of like, let's see. Okay, so Mercury is going backwards, changing the plans of stuff, changing our ideas of what we want to do or what we're trying to initiate, stuff like that, creating these new ideas, going back over and stuff like that. Venus is bringing that feistiness, that, ooh, I want this, what's this? I wonder how this, feels, or I kind of like pioneering into new territory and like loving it or something like that. I don't know. Like there's a lot of initiative, new territory trying to start at this time. And when Venus and Mercury come together, it's a very good time, very sweet and nice, enjoyable time when it comes to communication, connecting with others, expressing your thoughts and ideas and love and stuff like that. It's a very sweet aspect, that's basically that much I can talk about. But Venus is just maybe because Mercury is going over and, maybe we're going over old things, it's in retrograde, maybe you get a message from someone and it's kind of, it has to do with relationships, it has to do with, what you're trying to start, these ideas you're trying to, express for yourself and stuff like that. There's something here that's really being focused on how we can express our, selves or ideas, or how we express our love to other people. I don't know, something's here. Just pay attention of what you hear during this time. The next thing going, we basically talked about the conjunction happening. Let's see, hold on. It actually happens on the 20th of April when Jupiter forms a conjunction to Uranus. So 420, great gift that we can have for that day. Jupiter Uranus is going to just be, explosions of growth, explosions of like new ideas, thinking outside the box. When it comes to stability, security, what we value, that's a huge thing, is what we value. Taurus, has that value taste to it. So there's a lot of things. We could see a lot of new technology coming out to the public that helps us with to earn that or grow into that stability, secureness that we need in order to, for this long-term goals or long-term game that we are building or working towards and stuff like that. I can go on about that. The next thing going on is Venus basically is going over Chiron. So this is going to bring maybe a little bit of wounds and pains or healing when it comes to our relationships, or how we love, how we express love, what we attract, what we want. There's a lot of just things going on of when it comes to just, when it comes to healing these relationships. Maybe these old wounds that we have in our relationships are being healed at this time. Just a little quick thing. That's not the biggest trend going on. The same day, the Sun is going to be forming a square right here. You can see the square to Pluto. This is going to be a little bit more challenging. The Sun in Taurus wants to just be stable, wants to find this consistency, wants to have this stability, this security, this comfort and stuff like that. In an angle to the Lord of the Underworld. This is going to bring some destructions. This is going to bring a lot of, power struggles. This is going to bring a lot of, death and rebirth type of energy. We're going to be challenged. There's going to be tense energy when it comes to using our power, how we express ourselves. We're going to be challenged by other people, outer circumstances. I think that's the right word to say. There's going to be things that we can't control, and we're going to want to, control it. Taurus does have that, possessiveness on top of Pluto having that possessiveness and type of energy to it. So it's like, and they're both in fixed signs. This is a stalemate. This is a square, so it's pushing us to do something, to change something. the sign of Taurus and Aquarius, they don't see eye to eye, but they do have similar qualities when it comes to staying consistent. They're both fixed signs, finding a rhythm that works for them, and just, trying to, it's that consistency. But there's a little bit of tense energy because it doesn't go well together. Earth and air signs don't go together. I mean, especially Aquarius and Taurus. But I mean, maybe some astrologers say they do. But I'm just kind of giving a little example. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge in how we want to, I guess, like express our power, our inner power. We're going to be challenged by other people. People are going to probably, when it comes to like, the sign of Aquarius, groups of people, large groups, communities, stuff like that. It's like that's what Pluto is really focusing on. And having a square, the sign of, Sun and Taurus, which is trying to bring things into stability, trying to make things more just comfortable and enjoyable. There's something that's not working here. There's something that we are trying to earn this stability, but we're being challenged by other people or something like that. It's probably the most challenging day or the time of this month as the planets start moving into Taurus and forming that square to Pluto. So just be careful. A couple days later, we have the full moon in Scorpio. Right there. Okay, perfect. Full moon in Scorpio on April 23rd. This is culminating basically what started during the solar eclipse, the new moon in Aries. This is coming to fruition, completion, coming to whatever fullest of where it's at in your chart. Full moons are, when the moon is opposite the sun. It is the furthest away, being the opposite sign of where the sun is at. Excuse me. It's coming to a fruition. It's showing us what we don't normally see. That's a full moon. It's reflecting the light from the sun towards, towards Earth and making the energy a little bit higher. Usually during full moons, we can tell when it's a full moon or, when any type of full moon period, the energy or gets a little bit higher. Everybody feels a little bit more than normally. We just can feel it. Not the biggest thing happening this month. You can just say, the ruler of this full moon and Scorpio is Mars. Getting closer to Neptune. This is gonna just kind of be, if you want to just give that a little filter. There's gonna be some spiritual kind of direction that we want to head into, and even though the moon is at its fall, being in the sign of Scorpio, things are not going to feel comfortable. It's like this is going to feel very intense and stuff like that, and let alone it's in a T-square to Pluto. The sun opposite the moon, both square to Pluto. That's not going to feel easy. So just take it easy at that time, guys. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm just like, I was saying, not the biggest deal, but it could feel tense. You could feel so deeply hurted or just deeply, cutthroat, or someone's stabbing you or hurting your feelings, so to say, when it comes to these power struggles, when it comes to like trying to control things and not being able to, and you're getting, kind of just hit from, I don't know, getting hit by different angles of people, of how they, of whatever. It can feel a little tense by this time. The next thing is basically Mercury is stationing direct. So let's go back to the days. Let's see, where is it at? Okay, he's right. Okay, what do I have it on? The 25th. Okay, so Mercury's direct at this time. Mercury's done. We're done with the Mercury Retrograde. We understand all the problems and delays that we had to deal with and go back over these things. Now we can move forward and, get whatever information that we might have missed. The third time is the charm, basically. Mercury goes forward, goes back, and then goes forward again. So this is that, okay, now we understand. Now I can start implementing these ideas, these seeds that I want to start planning for, or, to receive that growth and stuff like that. We're done with that, Now it's forward moment. And from this point on, the energy will start to lighten up. The moon is basically starting to wane at this point. Let's go to, what's the next thing going on? It's basically the Mars conjunction to Neptune. So, from basically April 25th on forward, the energy is going to start feeling lighter, guys. This month is not going to be easy. It's going to start very like, oh my god, like things are coming to, like hitting the fan, shit's hitting all over the place. Explosions are happening. There's fights, there's disagreements, there's challenges. And then we get to like the full moon, it's like, oh my god, like you're facing your fears, you're facing all these powerful things that you have no control over, and you're understanding that, Mercury's been going retrograde, going back over things, but now Mercury's gone direct, and we can finally like move on from all this. It's not going to feel easy, guys. So Mars conjoining with Neptune. This is kind of just bringing that spiritual, the spiritual kind of vibes back. We are getting lost. I mean, this can either feel like you have no idea what direction you're heading into, and you're just kind of like well, I don't know what to do. You're kind of just like getting lost in the sauce and not really going anywhere and blah blah blah. But this could be a very creative time into using your intuition or listening to your intuition, or this higher source, or how your higher self is kind of will guide you towards whatever direction that you want to head into. It could be a weird transit though, honestly. I mean, Neptune will bring, like I said, that into like the deception, illusions, and stuff like that. You might feel like you want to go ahead in this direction, but then you don't feel right about something. So you're like, what if I go this way, or this way, this way, this way, this way? It's like you're gonna feel like you have so many options. It's gonna feel overwhelming, maybe, but it could also help you. You have to like listen to your intuition, because you're gonna run into like false media stuff, things that are not true, things that are not real, and you're gonna have to Neptune is trying to dissolve all these things, and it's gonna be a lot, but yeah, so just kind of hang tight during that. Okay, basically the next day Venus enters her home turf of Taurus. Is that the right word? Venus is home in Taurus. She's cool. She's like, hey, I'm back. I'm home. I'm in my sign. I can enjoy things. Look, all these planets that are starting to go into the sign of Taurus, this is where things are going to start feeling enjoyable. Like after all of this chaotic Aries, energy that's been going on. Once Mercury gets into the sign of Taurus in May, I think it is, it's going to feel a lot better, guys. I'm telling you, like after this, it's like we're passing through this hurricane, this storm that we need to get through, and then once the storm passes, we can enjoy this. Now the sun's coming out. Now we can, go outside and, enjoy this weather, or so to say, or whatever that we've gone through. That's basically how to describe the month of April. So basically the next day, I'm basically done with the month of April. I mean, look, Mars will enter the sign of Aries. He's home now. He's in Aries. This is go time. You know what I mean? Mars in Pisces is kind of like so lost and not really knowing what direction you're heading into. You're kind of just going here, there, everywhere, getting like very lost, and like just you're not gonna know what the heck you're doing, basically. As soon as Mars gets into Aries on the 30th of April, that's go time. That's when things are gonna be like, okay, we're going now. Like now the ruler comes home after all these planets have been going through his home sign of Aries, his house, his sign of Aries. Now he can kind of clear everything up and clear up the clutter, or as Mars is a malefic, he could, bring a little bit of chaos. It could bring more confrontational kind of energy. He can strike first and, hit the needle, or whatever the heck that saying is, or whatever. Hit the pin on the needle or something, whatever. Mars and Aries. This is gonna give us the energy to just like no other, guys. Having the sun go through Aries is kind of giving that little boost of energy of like, hey, I can do this. I will do this. Let me show you what I am capable of. Having the ruler Mars enter in the sign of Aries, the planet of ambition, energy, drive, sex, just going after things, go, 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 what gets you up in the morning, stuff like that. This is going to be, in my opinion, I mean, I'm sure other astrologers are, or other people who are following these transits are going to be like, this is going to be the worst transit ever, or this is going to be the best transit ever. I am excited for Mars and Aries. We need this boost of energy that's going to be, cranking it up, as Mars enters the sign of Aries. And then when Mars basically hits the North Node, oh, that is just, we're done by that point. That we are on steroids. That is like the most energized, probably, we will be more energized during that time than probably the rest of the year. That is going to take Mars's energy to 100 real quick. And that is just, we'll save that for next month. So that's kind of the overview general of April. And I know it's a lot. We're over an hour into this. This is just, it's a lot. So what we'll try to do now is talk about the signs and how all these things are going to play out for each sign. We're going to start with Aries. Okay, so here we go. Aries, welcome to your horoscope. What is going on for you, Aries? So as the sun passes through your first house of Aries, for the most part, this is bringing that energized, giving you a little bit of boost of who you are, what you're trying to do, and stuff like that. The first thing basically happening is Mercury going retrograde in your first house. So something about yourself, the way you present yourself, the way your approach to life, like beginning anything, what you're trying to initiate, what you're trying to start, what like the seeds you are planting or have been planting for this new cycle for you. Oh my God, like this is gonna just be, changing the way that you impress others, changing your personality, changing certain things, ideas, how you express yourself, when it comes to, I don't know, just who you are and what you want to, project out into the world. You'll understand, like, once Mercury goes direct, and like on the 25th, why you needed to change these ideas, these things these perceptions of who you are and what you want to change about your body, your physical body, and stuff like that. How you show yourself off, your personality, your character, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. Things are changing in that area of who you are. Let's kind of move on. Venus will enter. Hold on. Okay, and then Venus. Okay, let me go back. I'm gonna try to do this as best as possible. Bear with me, guys. Okay, so Venus will enter your first house of Aries, followed by, we'll talk about the solar eclipse in Aries. Venus in Aries. This is going to bring more beauty into your personality. Maybe a little bit of feistiness because it's Venus in detriment, Venus in Aries. You're going to be wanting stuff a little bit more, so to say, more passionate, I guess, about, you could say. More enthusiastic. Your personalities, how you're expressing your love will be very enthusiastic and stuff like that. You can be very argumentative, impulsive, and very ambitious, though. You could be attracting people who are, who can be, very confrontational, or not really in a bad side, like the bad side of that. Excuse me. You can attract more energetic people. You can attract, more youthful or eager type of energy, like youth, like just fresh, new energy, young energy, adventurous type of people. You're going to feel adventurous in a way towards other people. You're going to be basically drawing people towards you because of this feisty, fiery energy that you have, this spark that you're like showing off basically through your impressions. Okay, the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse in Aries. This is going to be one heck of a solar eclipse for you, Aries. Like Aries, Libra. This is like those two signs are like the main characters because the North node's in Aries and South node's in Libra. This is going to be a new beginning when it comes to how you present yourself. Having Chiron there, yes, there's been maybe a type of a wound, a weakness of how you present yourself, weakness to your character, stuff like that. But from this point on, you are shedding that skin, Aries. This is going to be one heck of a turn for you. Like you're starting a new chapter at this point. You are like, boom, like you're done with old things. You're starting new things. You are the main character of this month, basically. One of the main characters, I should say. But yeah, big things are happening in your first house. 6 months from now, you'll understand why these things needed to change, why you needed to let go of these things, blah, blah, blah. The next big thing is this Mars-Saturn conjunction happening in your 12th house, Aries and Pisces. There's going to be some blocks, limitations when it comes to any spiritual desires that you want to go after and chase. You're going to have to discipline yourself when it comes to any of these. Maybe, it is the 12th house. Maybe if you are addicted to something, Mars in your 12th house is going to make you addicted to that. It's going to make you desirable to want all of that stuff. All that subconscious fantasy stuff in the back of your mind and stuff like that. Saturn here is limiting that. It's like, nope, not anymore. You're not going to have any of this. You really need to discipline yourself when it comes to addictions, when it comes to like hidden enemies, spiritual stuff, seclusion, your blind spots, addictions, alienation, just mental health and stuff like that. So just kind of be careful at this time. You don't want to do too much, but you need to understand there's limitations to what we're doing. Mars-Saturn conjunctions are very important times. Okay. Next big thing happening is the Mercury Cazimi. Let's see, happening on basically, well, what day is it? That day. So, Mercury Cazimi, you are understanding and you're getting some type of light bulb moment when it comes to what needed to change of how you present yourself. Something to do with your character, something to do with your body, something to do with your impressions onto people, or you're getting some sort of understanding why you need to change the way you act, you present yourself, stuff like that. I don't know. You'll understand what you needed to change at this time. Next thing happening is the sun is going into your... Oh, where are we at? Hold on. Okay, yeah, right here. I'm thinking... Okay. The sun will enter your second house of Taurus. Sun in the second house of Taurus, you are going to focus on your finances at this time. This is going to be a time where you are going to try to find some stability. You're going to, have to basically ground yourself when it comes to these things in order to find that security that you want. The things that you possess, you're going to want to focus on more of your possessions, your priorities, what you need in order to feel stable, secure, blah, 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 stuff like that, over the next month. Okay, the next thing happening is the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Okay, hold on. Happening on April 20th in your second house. Something here, you are being jolted when it comes to finances, possessions, new things you're possessing, new things you're growing into when it comes to these, when it comes to your finance, what you own, your work ethic, your values, stuff like that. There's something jolting you to go beyond of what you were normally doing or what you own or something. Having Uranus go through this area of life for you has been, shaking up this area for you in order to, create more or gain that more stability that you need. Very important time for you guys. I mean, just look what's happening in your second house over when it comes to your money over this month of April and stuff like that. Stuff that you own and your priorities, what you're investing into. It's gonna be some big stuff happening for you, Aries, in that area of life for you. All right. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Okay, full moon in Scorpio happening in your 8th house. Something is coming to light when it comes to 8th house themes. Inheritance, death, rebirth, some shared resources, soul contracts, sexual chemistry, psychology, other resources, other people's money, your partner's money, stuff like that. There's something being like finalized at this time for you, Aries. So just kind of like, look, it might feel a little difficult. It might hurt, you might have some hurt feelings at this time because between your finances and other people's finances. So kind of just look at that. You might have to, find some balance of how much you're spending, how much you're spending for other people or using other resources to help you or something like that. You'll get through it though. It's not the biggest deal to have. Energy might be high though. Okay, next thing that's happening is Mercury stationing direct in your 1st house. Mercury direct in your 1st house. You know what's going. You know why you needed to change something about who you are. Now you can start implementing these ideas, these changes of how you want to present yourself and stuff like that. These ideas you're coming to. You're like, okay, now I understand what is going on, or how I need to do these things in order to move forward from all these delays and changes and stuff like that. Okay, next thing happening is Venus is entering your 2nd house. Venus entering your 2nd house of Taurus. Oh my God, you're going to be probably receiving more money and, finding more enjoyment at this time. You could be earning more possessions at this time. You could be attracting more possessions or whatever, or material items that you find valuable, find comfort and stuff like that. Like Venus traveling through anybody's 2nd house, you're going to be probably earning more than usual. You're going to be earning a lot more money and stuff like that. And you're going to be valuing and finding this kind of more comfort when it comes to this stuff, the stuff that you own. Next thing happening, Mars is entering your 1st house. You are going to get more energy at that point, Aries. This is going to be the spark that lights up your whole personality and stuff like that. Mars going through your 1st house is going to just give you all of the energy, all the stuff that you need in order to, I guess, do what you want to do. I don't know. Mars going through the 1st house is going to give you a boost of energy, basically. Okay? And that's about it. So, let's go to Taurus. Okay, wait. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Okay, yeah, okay. 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 Alright, for Tauruses. Alright, Tauruses. Mercury will station retrograde in your 12th house from Tauruses. In your 12th house. So, Mercury being in your 12th house, kind of creating these delays and stuff like that, happening in your 12th house. There's going to be a lot of stuff that needs to change when it comes to subconscious themes, dreams. You might be having some weird dreams at this time. Isolation. You might be trying to start something that will give you more, I guess, okay, so you're going back over plans to deal with, addictions, spirituality, hidden enemies, seclusion, isolation, stuff like that. You're trying to find other, different ways to initiate new life when it comes to subconscious stuff. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm not explaining that right. Mercury going into doing this retrograde in your 12th house, you're trying to find, I feel like, a lot of new things that will help you to heal this like mental health, the behind the scenes and stuff like that, because this is really focused on behind the scenes of like your subconscious at this time. Things are ending, old cycles are ending at this time. New cycles will begin later on this month as the planets start to go in your first house of Taurus. But I just see like this Mercury retrograde. Maybe you're trying to find spiritual ways, some spiritual activities or something, or mechanisms that can help you express your ideas, maybe more bluntly, maybe more feisty and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like that's what I'm getting from that. It might feel uncomfortable, but there's a lot of things that are really ending at this time and shifting. The tides are turning as Mercury stations retrograde. The next important thing happening is Venus is going into your 12th house. Venus is in detriment in Aries and moving into your 12th house. Your ruler is moving into the 12th house. So this is going to feel, bring that 12th house energy, very hidden, isolation. You're going to be attracting more spiritual people, maybe spiritual relationships, what you find valuable or enjoyable and stuff like that. Stuff like that. I don't know. Like, that's how I kind of see that. Venus going into the 12th house in Aries, will, I guess, I feel like you want to be cautious too, because Venus in the 12th house can be very deceptive too. So you want to watch out who you're, relating to, who your, relationships, what you're getting into, how you express your love, not wanting to express your love to somebody that's going to maybe take advantage of you or cross the line of anything, stuff like that. So I think you'll be okay though. It's not the biggest transit. This might bring a lot of feistiness and confrontations when it comes to relationships, and not really knowing, having those like illusions and deceptions and stuff like that. But you'll figure it out. You'll figure out what you want, especially when Venus goes over the North Node. This is gonna like be the triggering point to like, oh my God, this is what needs to change. This is what I really want when it comes to relationships and subconscious stuff. Next big thing, solar eclipse. Solar eclipse happening in your 12th house. Big things are happening and like restarting when it comes to your subconscious, behind the scenes and stuff like that. A lot of things are really changing at this time. Maybe you're letting go of old addictions, letting go of old ways of doing things. Maybe refreshing your mental health and stuff like that. What you need, what you don't need no more. This is on Chiron, so you want to be careful because it is focusing on your wounds, your painful stuff, things that are really triggering you. But this will be a very healing period as this progresses over the next 6 months and stuff like that. So you'll be okay, but it's a massive time, so just be careful, guys. Let's see. Next really big important thing, Mars is conjoining Saturn in your 11th house. This is going to bring some limitations when it comes to working with groups of people, having the desire to chase after your dreams, your aspirations. That's the 11th house, friends, communities, opportunities, your earned wealth that you make from your career. There's going to be different, there's going to be, this is going to be, having you become more disciplined when it comes to your long-term goals and how you reach them, how you will earn them, what you need to do in order to reach those goals for your long term, for the long term. Let's see. I gotta move on. Okay, next thing happening is Mercury Cazimi in your 12th house. You're understanding what is being highlighted for you because of this Mercury retrograde. You're understanding, oh, okay, maybe I need to, deal with these, need to heal these mental sides, these subconscious stuff that I've been trying to do, for this Mercury retrograde. Why things didn't work out the way that I thought it would if I did this or did that. Yeah, you're finally understanding, okay, now I understand what I need to do in order to heal these subconscious wounds or these subconscious impulses, anything spiritual and energy that has to do with your subconscious or behind the scenes. It's being, highlighted of, okay, now I see, the light at the end of the tunnel, basically. So things will start to pick up after this. You'll understand why things had to plan to do what they had to do. The next thing happening is the sun is going into your first house. And then boom, it's Taurus season. The sun is entering your your first house. This is like a renewed type of energy. You're like, okay, now this is where the rebirth will begin. This is where the seeds are starting to grow at this time. You're gaining that energy. You're gaining something that's becoming more stable for who you are, how you present yourself. This is where you're shining your light and stuff like that. Sorry about that. This is going to bring more stability, to who you are. Let alone the couple days after that, you're having Jupiter and Uranus conjunct each other on the 20th. And that's going to bring, a whole new light, a whole new, growth for you when it comes to how you present yourself, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to your personality, what you're trying to basically grow into, how you present yourself, something with your body. Maybe you're, growing something, or, gaining weight, or something with your physical body is being transformed at this time. But you're finding that I guess, healthy outlook on this. Is that the right thing? There's going to be sparks, basically. You're going to be expressing your sparks, this something light, something very, you're shining, this is a very, you're shining your light, now that the sun's in your first house, this is focused on you, Taurus. This is something big. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Now this is a completion. This is coming to the fullest when it comes to your seventh house, which is relationships. Maybe you're going to be dealing with these relationships. You might have tense relationships. You might have, this is the moon in fall, so there's going to be maybe some hurt feelings when it comes to relationships and stuff like that. So you want to be careful when it comes to that. How you're relating, how you can balance out your needs with other people's needs. When it comes to finances and other people's finances, what you need to support other people and how they need to support you. A lot of stuff. There's a push-pull kind of energy. So stuff to do with relationships, marriage, contracts, open enemies. It might be confrontational, T-squaring Pluto over here, blah, blah, blah. You might have some power struggles or deep wounds that you need to face and stuff like that when it comes to relationships. Okay, next thing happening is Venus is entering your first house of Taurus. This is going to give you that beautiful kind of expression, more beauty to your personality. You're just going to glow. You're going to glow, I feel like, when Venus enters your first house of Taurus. She's home now. This is an enjoyable time for you, Tauruses. Having your ruler enter your first house of Taurus, this is going to give you that enjoyment, that comfort, like I said, you're going to be glowing, People are going to be attracted to you because you're attracting that stability, that comfort, and stuff like that. Very good time for you, Tauruses. The next thing happening is Mars is entering your, it is, okay, it says May 1st, but screw that. It's April 30th. Mars will enter your 12th house of Pisces, of Aries. Well, first of all, this is going to give you a little bit of energy when it comes to these subconscious desires that you want. Maybe a little bit of, if you're in a relationship, this could be a little bit of a sexy time, when you're with a partner. You could be doing a little bit of, stuff behind the scenes when it comes to sexual things, or just maybe doing things just in a more hidden type way. Not being so out there and showing people what you're doing, but maybe you're doing some stuff, just in the background, in the backdrop. This will give you a lot of energy, though, because Mars is home in Aries. Very exciting time, though. Oh, I didn't even say Mercury will be stationing direct in your 12th house, and you're going to finally understand, why you can finally move on from these changes to do with like, isolation, hidden enemies, spirituality, spiritual stuff, mental health, stuff like that. That's all done for you. So, all right, we're going to Geminis. Geminis. Okay, I gotta go back. Hold on. Give me a minute. All right, Geminis. Okay. For you, Geminis, so the first thing happening is Mercury is going to retrograde in your 11th house of Aries. So there's going to be a lot of delays, a lot of things that are not going as planned when it comes to communities, friendships, opportunities, your aspirations, how you reach your goals, your life's dreams, what you're kind of starting and implementing in order for you to, like, and I guess, grow into these opportunities, these aspirations, your dreams, your goals, and your life goals and stuff like that. Maybe you're trying to rearrange stuff when it comes to earning wealth from serving your community and stuff like that. Stuff to do with large groups, friends, hopes, dreams. Let's see, your audience, how you present yourself to your audience. Let's see, it's just stuff like that. You'll understand, why these things needed to change and shift gears and stuff like that over the month of April. The next thing happening is Venus is entering your 11th house. This is going to bring a little bit of feistiness, a little bit of a heated type of desires that you want when it comes to friendships, communities, earned wealth, your aspirations, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, bringing more opportunities for you. You're going to be wanting to chase after these goals, or maybe getting into a relationship where you start to attract a little bit more heated or feisty people, maybe. Something like that. That's what I can say. Yeah. So that should be interesting. Okay, now we have the solar eclipse happening in your 11th house. This is a massive time for you, just as much as it is for every other sign. This is a new moon. This is a reset. This is a huge beginning. This is a solar eclipse in your 11th house. The 11th house represents friends, opportunities, communities, acquaintances, aspirations, audience, alliances, huge financial gain, networking, social resources, your attitude towards like friends and your attitude towards other people, or just stuff like that. Everything is being shifted at this time when it comes to those themes for you Geminis. So you'll understand the next 6 months that why these things needed to change and stuff like that for these areas, for this area of life for you. So if you needed to let go of an old friendship, old way of earning wealth and stuff like that, stuff to do, serving your community and stuff like that, being a part of a group and stuff like that, it's going to be shifted at this time. There's going to be a refreshing, leaving this, closing a door and opening a new door when it comes to this area for you. The next thing happening is this Mars conjunction to Saturn when it comes in your 10th house for you Geminis. You are going to be limited when it comes to achieving anything in your career. This is going to be like an authority figure is going to stop you from reaching these positions or the role that you want to work for in your career or for the public and stuff like that. You're going to have to discipline yourself in order to head in the right direction with more discipline, with more understanding of where you're heading into when it comes to your career, learning new skills, how to structure your life, your responsibilities and stuff like that. The actions you take in the world will be, stopped because you'll have to redo certain things when it comes to, your career stuff. But things will lighten up after Mars passes. You'll be able to gain those opportunities and understand why things needed to be delayed in order for you to understand them, what you need and what you will grow into your life. Next thing happening is this Mercury Cazimi happening in your 11th house. This is the point of where you're understanding why things needed to go back and go back over these old situations, these old, stuff to do with your aspirations, friendships, working for your communities, groups of people, stuff like that, networking, social resources. You're understanding, okay, now I understand what I need and what I don't need, and we are basically turning the page, and we are going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we can move forward from this point on. So you'll understand what needed to change and get that light bulb moment at this time. Next thing happening is the sun is entering your 12th house of Taurus. So this will be a time to just start, kind of just, ending a cycle, bringing more seclusion into your life, maybe staying at home or finding things that really heal your mental side. Like I said, this is an ending a cycle. This is right before your season, so you'll understand, the tides will turn as once everything gets into your first house of Gemini next month. So the focus for this month is basically, isolating yourself, or just, doing stuff to heal your mental side, spiritual stuff you're going to be doing, subconscious stuff like that. Let's see. Just stuff like that. Just gonna, maybe get a little bit, escape, a little bit of escape from reality type of energy and stuff like that. That's how I see it. So the next thing happening is this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in your 12th house, and this is going to bring a huge, massive time. This is going to jolt you into a new way of, healing your mental side, doing anything spiritual, going into foreign territories, growing in new ways when it comes to outer worldly mechanisms. It's a very spiritual area for you, and you're finding new ways to help you grow and bring more stability, excuse me, when it comes to growth, or just shocking new insights when it comes to spiritual stuff like that. Very exciting. I can probably go on, but I need to move on. But that's the most important thing happening. Okay, next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in Scorpio happening in your 6th house of Scorpio. This is basically coming to fruition, completion, fullness. When it comes to 6th house things, your coworkers, wellness, physical health related stuff, injuries, work, how you serve people in your work, what you need to provide for yourself in order to earn, just what you do in the world. It's the workplace, what you need to do in order to basically make a living for yourself. So something here is coming to fruition. The sun is in your 12th, the moon's in your 6th house. You might have a little bit of tension when it comes to physical and mental health, body-mind connection, stuff like that. But you're going to figure this out. This might be a little bit of frustration when it comes to, your inner feelings of how, I don't know, it could cut deep because the moon's in Scorpio, forming this T-square to Pluto. Some power struggles could, it could feel a little bit intense, intense time for you. But you will understand that maybe you need to feel uncomfortable in your work to provide, what you need out in the world. Something like that. Mercury will station direct in your 11th house. You finally are done with this. You understand why things needed to change and go back over these things. You understand you can move on. Life is good. So when it comes to aspirations, dreams, works, groups of people, friendships, and stuff like that. Next thing happening is Venus is entering your 12th house of Taurus. So Venus is home in Taurus. This is going to bring more, I would say, more ease to this area of life for you, because really Venus, wherever Venus is at, brings more ease to that house. So if you're having a little bit of more, maybe, I don't know, I wouldn't say you're really having an uncomfortable time because you have Mars. I mean, there might be a little bit of mental, shocks and a lot of things going behind the scenes with Jupiter and Uranus, and the sun trying to just, stabilize this area of life for you, trying to, bring some seclusion and isolation, just comfort, and just hidden stuff, ending old cycles. Venus coming here will ease things up. It will make things feel a little bit better, a little lighter. You will find maybe a little bit of comfort doing spiritual things and stuff like that, or just stuff to do with like subconscious and stuff like that, healing your mental side. Mars will enter your 11th house on the 30th. That will give you more energy to start hitting, start chasing your goals, basically. Like, you had to change all these things, why you don't want to do this, why you needed to stop and delay about your goals and what you want when your life goals and stuff like that. Once Mars enters, you're like, okay, this is go time. Now I can do the things that I want to do. Okay. Now we are going towards Cancer. Okay, Cancers. All right. Okay. Cancers. Okay, so the first thing happening is Mercury is stationing retrograde in your 11th house. So kind of like what I was saying into... Wait a minute. Hold on. That is wrong. There we go. Mercury stationing in your 10th house of Aries. There's something stopping here. There's something being delayed. There's something like, okay, now I need to go over something to deal with career stuff, achievements, your responsibilities, your purpose in this life, your role into the public. You know, there's something that you need to change in order to implement new structure of what you're trying to build for yourself, your life purpose. Not really your life purpose, but just your most public self. You know, what you're doing in your career, your vocation. Is that the right thing? Yeah. What you're obligated to and stuff like that. The actions you take in the world. These are going to be things going under review. Next thing happening is Venus is entering the sign of... Wait, hold on. Okay, Venus is in Aries. Okay, she's already in Aries. Venus is entering your 10th house of Aries. So Venus is the planet of love, attractions, what we find enjoyable. But Venus is in detriment. So we might have a little bit of... you might have a little bit of enjoyment when it comes to your public life, what you want in the world, how you need to get it, what do you need to attract to get what you want, basically in the public eye, in the public your career, your achievements and stuff like that. You're gonna have to maybe go after a little bit of and do a little bit of action into heading into go after what you want when it comes to achievement. You know, getting that respect in your career. Venus in the 10th house, I feel like, is like that kind of like that woman boss kind of type of energy. Like, I want respect. I want to be, you know, respected in my career, blah, 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 blah. That's kind of how I see it. You could say it any other way, but you're going to want to basically have that respect and, you know, but there might be a little bit of feistiness when it comes to what you want. You might have to maybe push back a little bit, you know, be a little bit of confrontational or get into the drama in order to achieve what you want. Something like that. Next thing happening is this solar eclipse in your... Wait. I am way off. Okay, the solar eclipse is happening in your 10th house. Big things are happening for you Cancers when it comes to career. You might be ending a career or starting a new one. Over the next 6 months, you're going to see your career change drastically. Like, major changes happening in your career section. How people see you, what you do out in the world, stuff like that. Your public life is going to be changed like no other. It is going to be closing an old door, opening a new door when it comes to your career, what you're obligated to do, your responsibilities, how you want to structure your life, being in an authoritarian role or something. Maybe if you are starting in like a new role that gives you that authoritarian position at work or your career or public life, you'll understand this is like. This is going to be something that's going to be like huge over the next 6 months for you Cancers. Big things are happening for you. Okay, Mars conjunct Saturn. Next thing happening is Mars conjunct Saturn in your 9th house of Pisces. There's going to be limitations when it comes to maybe expanding your horizons, traveling abroad. Maybe you've been wanting to travel and far and go some foreign lands and blah blah blah, and expand your horizons and blah 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 and stuff like that. But maybe you are being limited by Saturn's influence by now. Saturn's like, you know what, you need to be disciplined when it comes to, reaching these goals, these basically going to school. Like if you're going to school, you need to do these step-by-step, classes or courses in order to achieve, a long-term job, a long-term knowledge and goals that you need for your public life and your career. Maybe if you're into religion or foreign cultures and stuff like that, there's a lot of like lessons that you need to really learn that can help you eventually, but you have to like educate yourself or something like that. There's these step-by-step things when it comes to that stuff. So take your time, discipline yourself, don't rush yourself, just take one step at a time and you'll understand this, like why things had to happen. Go this way. Okay, and then the next thing is Mercury is coming into that conjunction with the Sun, the Cazimi. You understand what's shifting, what's changing at this time. You're like, okay, I see this light at the end of the tunnel. I know what I need to do now when it comes to achieving these goals, initiating these ambitions and actions and stuff to do with career and stuff. Very exciting for you. Next thing happening is, I believe, let's see. The Sun's going into your 11th house of Taurus on the 19th. Okay, so then the Sun going into your 11th house is going to put a focus on friendships, communities, groups of people, your aspirations, stuff like that. More opportunities will present itself over the next month for you. It could be a very enjoyable time. You have basically the next thing is Jupiter coming into a conjunction with Uranus on the 20th, the next day, and this is creating more sparks. This is creating more opportunities when it comes to chasing your goals, growing into these these life goals that you have for yourself, or if you're networking with other people, this is going to help you grow into something that's more stable, more secure. Working with these groups of people and stuff like that. Your mind is going to just be basically blown into creating these opportunities, these little pushes that can, boost you into these achievements that you want to, grow into, these dreams that you have. Maybe you are working with these people and these people can help you, push you and help you gain that stability that you need in order to, receive your goals and stuff like that. Big things happening. That's a big thing. Okay. Next thing is the full moon in Scorpio. Full moon Scorpio happening in your 5th house. It's a little easier because it's the 5th house. It's a water sign, Scorpio. This could be a little bit easier for you Cancers than other signs. But there will be a little bit of tension because it's in a T square to Pluto over here. There's and Pluto's in your 8th house. So when it comes to communities on top of what Aquarius rules, communities, groups of people. 8th house is transformation, shared resources, debts, your partner's finances, stuff that you do with your partner, your secrets and stuff like that. And having the moon in your 5th house of pleasures, fun, recreation, self-expression, children, creativity, and dating and romance and inspiration. There's going to be a little bit of tension and maybe hurt feelings at this time, but you're really going to understand there's something to do with shared resources that can really help. Or if you're dealing with in a relationship or with other people, these people are trying to help push you gain this powerful to gain your own self-confidence back. I would say maybe if you're starting to want to have children or start a family, this could challenge you towards that, and I don't know, something like that could happen. The next thing happening is Mercury stationing direct in your 10th house. You understand why things needed to change. You are moving past all this stuff. You finally get it. You're like, okay, I can move on from this. Let's go. Next thing happening is Venus is entering your 11th house of Taurus. This is going to bring more enjoyment. Venus is home in Taurus. This is going to bring more ease when it comes to relating to other people, working with friendships and stuff like that. Receiving those aspirations, receiving more opportunities and stuff like that. Expressing love and just finding enjoyment and connections when you're around these people. That's what I say about that. Next thing, Mars is entering your 10th house of Aries. This is going to give you a little bit more ambitious and oomph when it comes to achieving these goals. Will be the time for you to be like, okay, now I'm going to implement these goals. Now this will give me the energy to do these and chase after what I want in the public life, in the public eye. Moving on. Leos. Leos, the first thing happening is Mercury's stationing retrograde in your 9th house of Aries. This is kind of going back over things to do with like higher education, courses, the higher mind, traveling, foreign stuff, religion, foreign cultures, traveling abroad, the law, justice, institutions, your dreams, principles, like foreign stuff. You're kind of being delayed by these things, and there's something that you need to maybe change up a bit in order for you to understand maybe these, to earn the knowledge or wisdom that this Mercury retrograde will come towards you. You'll figure out what you need to do over the month of April. The next thing happening is Venus is entering your 9th house of Aries. This is going to bring more of that fire energy. This will probably be a little bit better for the fire signs, having all this fire energy coming in, speaking your language, bring a little bit more heat, feistiness, stuff like that, attraction and stuff like that. You could be attracting more foreign people. You could be attracting more, enjoying these courses that you take in, or expanding your mindset and stuff like that, and something like that. Philosophies is going to be very attractive and hot to you, like stuff like that. That's what I can see, and whatever. Going to be a very interesting time. It's going to bring a little bit of ease, as these planets are going through the sign of Aries in your 9th house. But you might have to push yourself a little bit in order to get what you want as Venus travels through your 9th house. Next thing happening is a solar eclipse in your 9th house. Big thing, big start, big ending, big shift happening when it comes to traveling, foreign places, higher education, religion, publishing, teaching, religion. I said religion already. Philosophies, academics, your perception of the world. This is the house of God. That's why it has the religion in it. The law, wisdom, benefits from foreign places, stuff like that. A lot of things are changing, when it comes to this area of life for you, Leos. This is going to be an interesting time. But you'll see as this energy progresses over the next 6 months, you'll understand what needed to change. Maybe you have a little bit more freedom, or you do, travel a little bit more than usual than you did before. So a lot of things are expanding in this area of life for you. Very exciting time. The next thing happening is this Mars-Saturn conjunction happening in your 8th house of Pisces. There's going to be some delays, blocks when it comes to shared resources, debts, some type of transformation when it comes to psychology, sexual chemistry, soul contracts, refinancing stuff, taxes, blah, 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 stuff like that. You're going to have to discipline yourself when it comes to maybe using other people's money. Maybe something to do with your partner's money is being delayed, and you have to discipline yourself with them. Maybe they want something, you're like, we can't do this yet, blah, blah, blah. But there's going to be a lot of bit of stuff to do with like inheritance and stuff too. You're going to have to discipline yourself when it comes to stuff like that. Next thing happening is, did I say the solar eclipse? I already said the solar eclipse. Okay, is Mercury coming into the Cazimi. Okay, this is the halfway point. You're understanding, boom, light bulb moment to happening in your 9th house. You're like, whoa, this is what I needed to change. Now I understand and see the light at the end of the tunnel when I had to, go back over these, stuff to do with, philosophies, foreign stuff, truths, principles, traveling, religion, stuff like that. You start to understand why these things needed to change. Next thing happening is the sun is entering your 10th house of Taurus. So having the sun here in your 10th house, this is going to be focusing on your career, what you are, your responsibilities, how you're structuring your life, what you're obligated to do in the world, the actions you take, and stuff like that. This will be the energy over the next month for you. Followed by, I believe, the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in your 10th house too. This is going to bring, I feel like, opportunities, new career opportunities for you, Leos. This is like huge news for you. After, this solar eclipse happening in your 9th house, now it's like, oh, I needed to kind of, start something, initiate something to do with, traveling, religion, higher education, blah, blah, blah. Having Jupiter-Uranus conjunct and forming this conjunction in your 10th house of Taurus, this is like, okay, now we can implement these opportunities and grow into these new, structures, a way of structuring our life and stuff like that. This is going to be big for you, Leos, honestly. One of the very exciting time for you. Let's see. The full moon in Scorpio next, happening on the 23rd. This is going to be in your 4th house, so yes, full moons can bring drama, fruition, completion, blah, blah, blah. There could be stuff happening here and there. Energy is going to be high. Having it in the 4th house, this can deal with family, home stuff, your foundation, property, your parents, your intuition, your intuitive guide, your maternal instincts, emotion. It can be a very emotional time. It's going to be very very hurtful, maybe not very hurtful, but your feelings will be very sensitive at this time, and, having it, having this T-square to Pluto to do in your 7th house, there's going to be maybe a lot of bit of, tense energy or deep things coming to the surface at this point, and you're going to have to face it when it comes to, relationships, family stuff like that. So sorry to say that, but it needs to be addressed, basically. There could be drama, there could be power struggles, but it could also, just release some old patterns that you've had with family and relationship stuff. So Mercury will station direct in your 9th house. You understand what's going on. You understand why things need to were delayed. You can move on from all this stuff. We're done. So Venus will enter Taurus on the 29th, and this will bring more ease when it comes to career stuff. You're going to be wanting to have that more respect from others. You're going to be relating to people with more comfort, with more ease. You're going to find more stability, I guess you could say, when it comes to your career and public life. There's going to be, this is beautifying your career, your public image, and how you present yourself in the world. It's going to be really nice and bring a little bit of a sweetness to that area of life to you. The next day, Mars will enter your 9th house, initiating and giving you all the energy to implement all these things that needed to be planted and seeded, just so you can understand what you want when it comes to expanding your horizons. Traveling far, traveling long distance traveling, learning philosophies and stuff like that, truths, higher education, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be fun for you, Leos. Fire and fire, lighting you up, Leos. All right. Next, we are going through Virgos. We're halfway there. Okay. Okay, Virgos. First thing going on, your ruler, Mercury, is going stationing retrograde in your 8th house in Aries. So the 8th house is about shared resources, transformation, death, rebirth, assets, inheritance, debt, sex, sexual chemistry, taxes, intimacy. I'm surprised I haven't been saying anything about intimacy. Talking about all these 8th house stuffs. Your partner's, resources, hidden secrets to do with you and your partners, joint resources, joint ventures that you have with other people. It's really focused on your partner or other people's money, basically. You're trying to re-implement and go over what can work for you when you use like other people's resources and stuff like that. It's being really shifted and changed at this time, and you'll understand what needed to be delayed and what needed to be what you needed to change. Dealing with these themes over the next month. Next thing happening is Venus is entering your 8th house of Aries on the 5th, 4th, 5th, whatever. Venus is in detriment in Aries. This is going to give you a little bit of a feisty, uncomfortability type of energy, but it might not be the worst thing in the world. Excuse me. Sorry, I've been drinking soda. It's been like, oof, so ignore that. Venus is going to be a little bit of feisty, a little bit of wanting a little bit of all these like resources and stuff like that. You're going to have the desire for like, intimacy, intimate partnerships, intimate attractions or connections with other people. You're going to want, more like these shared resources in order for you to feel good and, attract all that stuff. So it could be a very sexy time for you with a partner, or it could be a very, greedy time, I would say, maybe. Either way, but it's Venus, so I don't think it's going to be that much of a, difficult time for you, Virgos, but not the biggest thing in the world. Next thing happening is the solar eclipse happening in your 8th house of Aries. This is a huge, massive change. Something new is starting in your 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, sexual chemistry, soul contracts, refinancing, assets, inheritance, sex, death, debts, loans, all that stuff to do with other people's money, your partners, stuff like that. Things are really shifting. The tides are turning here, just so you know. But you'll understand in the next 6 months why these things needed to change, why you needed to let go, close one door, open a new one, and, in order for these, themes to, like, really blossom over time. So your shared resources, the way you use these resources from other people will start to change. And you'll initiate new ways of basically, I guess, implementing these resources when you are joining with your partners or using it with other people. Next thing happening is Mars conjunct Saturn in your 7th house of Pisces. So boom, boom, boom. Limitations when it comes to relationships. Knowing when to stop if you are trying to do something. Saturn has been in your 7th house, creating these limitations, trying to discipline you when it comes to relating these relationships, these business contracts, anything to do with marriage, open enemies, clients supporting others, commitments. It's trying to, bring it back down to earth, like give you that reality check when it comes to like relationships in general, how you can build these commitments, make these, relationships long lasting and stuff, and what you're committing to, trying to implement those. Mars being in here, you want this. You want to go after these people. You want this. You want this. Saturn's like, nope. You're gonna have to stop and become more disciplined when it comes to wanting these things for your relationships and how you're connecting to other people. A lot of big things are happening for you Virgos since Saturn has been here in your 7th house of Pisces. But you'll understand, this will kind of like give you some like delays and stuff like that. Next thing happening is the Mercury Kazemi in your in your eighth house. You understand, boom, light bulb moment when it comes to why these things needed to change, and you see the light of the end of the tunnel when it comes to shared resources, intimacy, inheritance, death, rebirth, stuff like that. This is a transformational time, and you're like, okay, now I can use these. I at least have a little bit more knowledge of how to use these to initiate new life or something to do with what you're doing with other people's money or other people's resources. Next thing happening is the sun is entering your ninth house of Taurus on the 19th, followed by the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening on 4/20, April 20th. So the sun entering your ninth house of Taurus is trying to, ground yourself, ground these energies when it comes to, traveling, long distance traveling, learning like educational stuff, and expanding your horizons, expanding your mind, learning these, taking courses and learning stuff. This is what it's going to ground you. Maybe focusing on philosophy and truths and principles, and learning stuff about religion or foreign cultures and stuff like that. This is going to help ground yourself and be the focus for you over the next month for you Virgos. The Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening basically the same day or the day after. This is going to create more opportunities for you to expand your horizons, and just like shit's going to just be crazy for you. You're going to be able to basically maybe travel more, have more shocking, unpredictable stuff happening when you're traveling, when you're learning these foreign things, or stuff to do with principles and philosophies and stuff like that. Huge thing, guys. Just pay attention to what happens during that. Big thing happening. Okay, then we have the full moon in Scorpio, happening in your third house for you Virgos, in your third house of Scorpio. This is coming to an end, fruition, culmination. Something is ending at this time, and when it comes to third house themes, how you communicate, the way you're expressing your ideas, your mind. When it comes to siblings, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your commune, and your social life and social media and writing projects and your rituals, and how you're getting around, doing your daily routines and errands and stuff like that. There could be a little bit of tension having this T-square forming to Pluto. When it comes to Pluto's in your sixth house of daily routines, work, service, health issues, stuff like that. So maybe you are learning new information that really will dig deep into your subconscious of oh my god, maybe I need to learn so and so in order to fix any health issues I have, or anything that I need to when it comes to traveling and communicating these things and learning new skills and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that. I'm just rambling here. I hope you get the gist of what I'm explaining. How you use your mind is really gonna you might have to have some hurt feelings. You're gonna maybe feel emotional. This is really gonna cut deep into certain things that you need to really address when it comes to your mind, how you're communicating, stuff like that. Next thing happening, Venus is going into your ninth house of Taurus. This is going to bring more ease. Venus is home in the sign of Taurus. This is going to bring more enjoyment when it comes to these things about traveling, long distance traveling, foreign stuff, religion, higher education, legal matters, stuff like that. This is going to bring more enjoyment and, have that stability to at least enjoy learning something, or learning about these foreign cultures, getting into astrology, getting into some higher source, that's a very attractive and what you really desire and stuff like that. That should bring a little bit of ease when after, we go into the end of the month, and basically the next day, Mars is entering your 8th house of Aries. This is going to be giving you the boost, the initiation to start these things when it comes to eighth house themes, shared resources, how you use them, intimacy, sexual chemistry, refinancing anything, soul contract, psychology, death, inheritance, rebirth. A lot of things is happening. Like, it's like one house. Venus being in your 11th house, not 11th, ninth house, is bringing more ease to like enjoying these like things when it comes to traveling. And then maybe, having Mars enter your 8th house is like, okay, now we can actually implement these things and go on these things. Maybe you're traveling with a partner or something to a foreign place, and you're finding more enjoyment doing this, or your joint ventures with your partner or something like that, or how are you using your money? I don't know. It could be a lot of things. So that's the month for you, Virgos. Okay, next we are going towards Libra. Whoops. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm taking like forever. Okay. Libra, Libra, Libra. It's Libra rising, Here we go. Okay, Libras. Mercury stationing in your 7th house of Aries. So something to do with your relationships. Libra is the other. Actually, we are halfway now through the signs now. Now that we're at Libra. So Libra is also the other main character for the storyline of the nodes being in Aries and Libra. Mercury going retrograde in your 7th house. There's something that needs to be delayed when it comes to relationships, relating to other people, starting commitments, supporting other people, open enemies, clients, stuff about marriage, and like a bunch of stuff that it's relationships. It's you versus other people, but this is focused on other people. So this is kind of just like, really changing the way that you express your, connect to other people, express your other ideas, and sharing ideas and stuff like that. You're going to understand why things need to be, shifted and changed at this time. Okay, next thing happening is Venus is entering your 7th house of Aries. So this is going to be, bring a little bit of more attracting, a little feistiness when it comes to relationships and what you're relating to and how you receive your desires and what you want. You're gonna, be attractive to more maybe, energetic people, relationships, maybe more of like a leadership type of person, more eager, more youthful type of people. There's going to be a little bit of fun to this transit as she brings as she enters your 7th house. And yes, she's in detriment, so she might have to, you might have to go after what you want when it comes to relating to these people and stuff like that. Make you a little bit fearless and stuff like that, or attracting people who are fearless and stuff like that. Kind of a fun little transit, interesting little good thing. Next thing happening is the solar eclipse is happening in your 7th house. Big things are happening for you, Libras, when it comes to relationships, commitments, starting business contracts, open enemies, partnerships, how you partner with other people, working with other people, stuff to do with marriage. Maybe you're trying to get married, and this is kind of like the seed planting over, and you'll understand over the next, 6 months plus why, these things need to be initiated and started. Very exciting if you're into that. How you support people and stuff like that. Big things are happening for you, Libras. Just look. You'll understand. Okay, Mars Saturn conjunction happening in your 6th house of Pisces. It's in your 6th house. There's going to be delays when it comes to the way you serve others, the way you work, the way you're working and stuff like that. Stuff to do with health issues, taking care of pets. Dealing with coworkers, your wellness, maybe leases. You're signing a new lease and you have to wait. You're being, there's limitations. You need to discipline yourself when it comes to maybe signing new leases and stuff like that. So you don't want to sign leases right now because Mercury's in retrograde this time. So just hint. Okay, the routines, your like any injuries and stuff like that. You want to be cautious about that. Maybe Saturn's like, hold up, you don't want to do too much because you might injure yourself. Blah 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 blah. Maybe that's kind of like what's going on for you and like kind of like your workplace and stuff. Next thing happening is Mercury is coming into the heart of the sun. You're understanding why things get needed to change. This is the light bulb moment of like, okay, now I understand why these relationships didn't work, basically, or something like that, or these contracts weren't agreeable or, stable, or they weren't committed to, lasting anything or whatever. You'll understand. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. You'll be like, okay, I am starting to understand this transit. Next thing happening is the sun is entering your 8th house of Taurus. The sun going into your 8th house. This is going to bring more stability when it comes to 8th house things, shared resources, inheritance, intimacy, joint ventures, joint partnerships, like joint money, whatever. Debts, loans, taxes, having like assets and stuff like that. Sexual chemistry, refinancing, soul contracts. This is going to bring that grounding stability towards, what's going to be happening over the next month. Having Jupiter, Uranus, the conjunction in your 8th house is bringing some unpredictability. New things when you're using these new resources when it comes to like sharing it with other people, your partner's money, or maybe you want to refinance into like a car or for a house or something, like your mortgage or whatever, something like that. Stuff to do with money, other people's money, how you're using other people's money, how other people's money can help you, something like that. You might be inheriting a lot of stuff after this time. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Okay, full moon in Scorpio in your 2nd house. This is culminating, coming to completion, finalizing something to do with, it's your money. The sun is in your 8th house of other people's money. The moon is basically shining light, reflecting stuff that's happening in your personal 2nd house financial sector, your values, your own resources. Maybe you have to dig deep in order to balance out your finances with other people's finances. Having this T-square to Pluto with luminaries squaring Pluto in your 5th house, there might have to be there's going to be this is money houses. These are money houses, guys. There's something to do with these money houses that you need to address, even if you have to be creative to earn other money. Maybe doing entrepreneurship, other things, side hustles, hobbies, in order to help you out, help others out, help these relationship and intimacy and not intimacy, but you could say that, but mainly money. I'm focusing on money. That's what I'm seeing here. You're going to have to address all these things, and it's not going to feel, very easy. The moon's in Scorpio at its fall. It's going to feel really deep, very, intense, very emotional time at this time. But you will understand what needs to be addressed. Mercury will station direct in your 7th house. You're done with this Mercury retrograde. You can move on. Maybe you understand why these contracts, why these commitments, why these relationships didn't work out. You can finally implement new ideas, new seeds happening from this point on. Next thing happening is Venus is entering your 8th house of Taurus. This is going to bring more ease when it comes to, this area of life for you. 8th house, shared resources, intimacy, partners, money, psychology, sex, sexual chemistry, refinancing, shared soul contracts, blah 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 blah, inheritance stuff, taxes, debts. This is going to bring more ease to these themes to help out after maybe these, the full moon in Scorpio, bringing a little bit of intensity and stuff like that. The next day, Mars will enter your 7th house, initiating, giving you the energy to be like, you know what, this relationship works out, this relationship doesn't work out. You're going to be cutting relationships out. You might be having fights with other people, but it'll give you energy to really, chase after these goals of what you actually want. Moving on. Scorpio. First thing happening is Mercury is stationing retrograde in your 6th house. Mercury's retrograde in your 6th house. This is kind of bringing delays, going back over things to deal with, work, services, health issues, the way your routines, working with coworkers, signing leases. You don't want to sign any leases at this time. Wait, hold on. until the end of April to like really start signing leases and blah blah blah. Maybe wait till May too, just in case. Stuff to do with your hygiene, fitness training, working out, medicine, supplements, wellness, stuff like that, health issues, your physical body. You're gonna have to go back over these themes and see what works, see what doesn't work, and stuff like that. Next thing happening is Venus is going into your 6th house of Aries. This is gonna maybe bring a little bit more feistiness into what you want. I guess when it comes to work, services, working out, what you need to provide yourself with in order to, I guess, gain the most value out of anything. You're gonna have to maybe go after things because Venus is in a Mars ruled sign of Aries. You will be maybe a little bit of a wanting to start a little bit of confrontations. Start a little drama in the workplace. Blah 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 blah. It can be a little bit of that. So just warning you, but not the biggest thing. Yeah, it's Venus in the 6th house. So you're gonna be attracting maybe stuff to do with like health stuff. Maybe coworkers. Just little feistiness and stuff like that. Not the biggest deal in the world though. Next thing happening is the solar eclipse happening in your 6th house of Aries. This is going to be something massive happening. It's starting in the way you serve, the way you work, the way you provide for yourself in order to, I guess, receive, what you need when it comes to work. And which, it's like we need to work for this. We need to provide service for this. So this is going to be providing something new, initiating, and you'll understand like over the next, as this energy progresses over the next 6 months, you'll maybe finding new ways to work, finding new ways how to serve people, finding new ways to work with coworkers, or finding new stuff to do with health issues, and finding things that heal any injuries or sicknesses or illnesses or whatever. From this point on, very big important time. Next thing happening, Mars conjunct Saturn in your 5th house in Pisces. This is going to bring limitations when it comes to dating, romance. You're using your creative expressions, maybe children or something like that. Maybe you want to start a family and you're thinking about children and stuff. Excuse me, like pregnancy and fertility and stuff like that. You're really going to have to discipline yourself in order to basically achieve what you want when it comes to your creative expressions. Any hobbies that you're trying to start, you're going to have to really limit yourself, understand what you need in order to, I guess, enjoy and find the most pleasures through what you want, basically. Dating, love, pregnancy, conception, stuff like the fun house, your bucket list items. Maybe you are being delayed in order to, understand how you need to, I guess, receive these achievements that you really want, that you desire for. Saturn moving into your 5th house has been bringing a lot of blocks and limitations and restrictions. And this is just kind of just adding a little bit of hold on, you don't want to move forward on doing this thing or whatever. You got to discipline yourself. Next thing happening is Mercury is conjunct the Sun. You're understanding at this point you're understanding oh my God, okay, this is why things needed to change. This is why things were being delayed. I can understand the way that I have to do when it comes to work services and to do with health issues or something like that, leases, working with coworkers, illnesses, fitness training. You'll understand at this point you're okay, now I know how to kind of adjust and maneuver around these ideas that I have. Next thing happening is the Sun is ingressing into your 7th house of, hold on, 7th house of Taurus. Okay, so the Sun is focusing on your relationships at this point. It is going to be, providing more groundingness, more security when it comes to other people, when it comes to business partnerships, when it comes to commitments, supporting others, how they support you, what you can do for others and stuff like that. That's going to be the energy over the next month for you Scorpios and stuff like that. That's going to bring the groundingness towards, what you need. Jupiter is forming a conjunction to Uranus, basically the same time in your relationships sector, This is going to bring a lot of crazy, massive things happening when it comes to relationships, growing in these, growing in these new relationships, growing in these new ways of, partnering up, or these business contracts will, basically, expand these horizons when it comes to, I don't know, relating to others, working with others, or just having better relationships, I guess. It's very positive, Very exciting, guys. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio, which is basically happening in your first house. So the full moon in Scorpio is happening in your, in your first house of Scorpio. Okay, so this is a finalization. This is a culmination when it comes to who you are, how you present yourself, your impressions, your personality, your character. This is like, okay, the sun is focused on other people, but you're kind of feeling the moon's in your first house. You're gonna have to find some balance between your needs and other people's needs, and maybe a little bit. It might be a little bit emotional. It isn't a T-square to Pluto in your fourth house, so maybe something to do with family stuff will be brought up at this time. It might feel intense, emotional, something like that. Something needs to be addressed, but it'll start to clear off after that, because that is when actually it's Mercury stationing direct at this point, and you're finally done with the Mercury Retrograde. You're like, okay, now I understand what needed to change. Now let's implement these ideas in. And then Venus will enter your 7th house, bringing more ease to, bringing more ease to, these relationships and stuff like that. Bringing more harmony and just like enjoyment and comfort. It's going to feel easier once Venus goes into her home sign and of your 7th house of relationships. Business contracts are going to be much easier to, to attract and stuff like that. Marriage, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be nice. Commitments, agreements, supporting others, going to be fine. Mars enters your 6th house of Aries on the 30th. This is going to be the time to implement these changes, start these new things. Mars loves to be in the 6th house, so go, go, go. This will give you an extra energy boost of doing what you want. Very exciting time for you, Scorpios, as we end the month of April. All right, now let's go to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. We're almost done, guys. If you're still here, thank you. Please like the video. Please share. Please subscribe. All right. For you, Sagittarius, Mercury will station retrograde in your 5th house. There's something being delayed when it comes to your creative side. Any hobbies you're trying to do. Fun, conception, pregnancy, love, passions, inspiration, your bucket list items. You're going to have to go over these things to see what works and what doesn't work. This is going to be, you're going to have a lot of delays happening in this time, but you'll understand as we go through this month the changes that need to be implemented in order for you to understand what you do want. Next thing happening is Venus will enter your, Venus will enter your 5th house of Aries. This is going to bring more exciting things when it comes to sex. Plain and simple. Pleasures, enjoyment. You might be attracting a little bit more feistiness, or, stuff to do with, like how you express your love, pleasures, what's desirable for you. You're going to be enjoying a little bit of things. You might have to go after these things because Venus is in detriment on the side of Aries. And Venus actually loves to be in the 5th house. So this is going to be an extra boost. Even though Venus is in detriment, this is going to bring a little bit of enjoyment because she's in the 5th house. She's going to love to do this stuff. I love to attract these creative things to do with maybe enjoying children. If you have children, this could be an exciting time to be more playful with your children. This could be, you could be creating, being more creative and how you attract things that you want and stuff like that. It could be an exciting time. Next thing happening is a solar eclipse in Aries happening on this, on the 8th, or what is it, the 8th? Yeah, the 8th. Okay. This is a huge thing starting and initiating for you, Sagittarius, man, in your 5th house. This could be, things to do with your self-expression. What brings you joy? Children, creativity, pleasures, sex, playfulness, hobbies, romance, entertainment, drama, apprenticeships, um, um, desires, inspiration, bucket list stuff. This is a major, major shift happening for you. You'll understand over the next 6 months why these things needed to initiate and start and stuff like that. It's going to be a very exciting time. It's all fire. It speaks your language, Sagittarius. You're going to love it. It's going to feel crazy. I mean, it's going to feel nice even though we're during eclipse season and Mercury Retrograde. You'll understand why these changes needed to occur. Next thing happening is this Mars Saturn conjunction happening. Oh, whoops. In your 4th house. Stuff to do with family, drama. Not really drama, maybe a little bit of drama. Family, home, property, your private life, your foundation, your intuition, your maternal instincts, stuff like that. You're gonna have to discipline yourself when it comes to the foundation you are trying to build. Excuse me, and then maybe you need to really hold back on certain things. Maybe you're renovating your house or trying to move somewhere, and you're trying to you're being blocked. You're like, you know what? You need to understand these step-by-step things in order for you to, something to do with your home life, your foundation, what you need to do, your living situation. You need to be more disciplined about that. Maybe you need to learn more lessons or hold on doing things around the home at this time. Next thing happening is the Mercury Gazemi happening in your 5th house. You understand why these things needed to happen when it comes to creativity, hobbies, pleasures, children, your playfulness, your inner child, desires, pregnancy, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you're figuring out what you need to do in order, if you're starting a family and you want to, start a family at this time, get somebody pregnant, or starting to think about that. You'll understand about this a little bit more. Maybe you are getting somebody pregnant, and you end up being like, oh, wow, well, how am I supposed to adjust to these certain circumstances or responsibilities that I need to, address and stuff like that. I don't know, something like that. But your hobbies, something could be, turned, the tables can turn upside down, and you can find new discoveries when it comes to, doing hobbies or something to do with entertaining and stuff like that. Big moment. You'll understand get the light bulb moment at this point. Okay, next thing happening is the sun is entering your 6th house of Taurus. Hold on. Whoops. Okay. Sun is entering the Taurus. Okay, 6th house of Taurus. This is going to be focusing on your work life, how you serve other people. This is going to bring more grounding energy. This is going to be, what you need in order to, provide what you need in order to receive, I guess, the service that you need to provide for others, and what the service you need for yourself. It's going to be focusing on health issues, maybe leases, routines, supplements, working out, fitness training, stuff like that. Jupiter Uranus happening in your 6th house of Taurus. Big major things happening. Maybe starting a new career, starting something new that you are providing from a new way of working or servicing, bringing service to people, stuff like that. A lot of crazy things could be happening, but it's very exciting. Maybe your health gets a little bit better at this time. Maybe any injuries are being, healed or whatever at this time or whatever. Maybe something to do with leases can be shifted at this time. Maybe you can, grow out, you can expand any leases or, I don't know, contracts or whatever to do with working for others or serving others, stuff like that. A lot of crazy things happening for that. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Okay, this is happening in your 12th house for your Sagittarius. Okay, so this is a culmination. This is a finalization coming to fruition, fullness in the 12th house. This is like shining a light in what's behind the scenes, your subconscious mind. Things that are things that are been hidden in the back of your mind are really coming out at this time, which could be either good or bad. You might have to address these themes. It could feel very uncomfortable and very, emotional at this time, very intense. It's going to be in a T-square to Pluto. Pluto's in your third house, so, something to do with like communication and like services and like your routines and like how you transport or blah 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 blah. It could be a lot of things, a lot of things are coming to the surface at this time. Mercury will station direct the next couple days after that, and you finally understand you're done with this Mercury retrograde. You can move on. You can start implementing these ideas and stuff like that. Okay, next thing happening is Venus is entering your 6th house of Taurus, as well as Mars entering your 5th house of Aries at the end of the month. Venus entering your 6th house of Taurus is going to bring more ease in how you're providing service and working and stuff like that. Maybe bring more enjoyment or stability or comfort when you're working with coworkers, dealing with any health issues. Things could be a little bit of healing about that. Your finances, you could increase your finances by doing, providing more work, just in order for you to receive, more stability in this area of life for you. Mars entering your 5th house of Aries is going to give you the the energy to, start these, hobbies, these creative boosts of energy or whatever. You're going to have the energy to do all these things that have been, kind of shifted and, shooken up around this time, about having all the planets in your 5th house of Aries. Okay, moving on to Capricorns. Hold on. Okay, Capricorns. Mercury will station retrograde in your 4th house of... 4th house... What was it? 4th house of Aries. Something to do with your home, family, living situation. You have to go back and over these certain things in order to, understand what needs to change for your living situation. If you're trying to move, maybe you're bringing more delays in it, blah, 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 something to do with like that. The next thing happening is Venus is entering your 4th house of Aries. This is going to bring, maybe renovating around your home, Mercury going retrograde, changing these ideas about your living situation. I want to change this in my home. This is, or like just trying to rearrange stuff. And like when it comes to your home, your foundation, blah, blah, blah. Venus here will have you, give you a little bit of energy of like trying to do something different in your home, or maybe being a little creative or something. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna give you a little bit of feistiness. Maybe you'll have a little bit of drama, but it might be a little bit of a kind of. I wouldn't say there will be ease coming into your into your family, because Venus is in detriment, so it's kind of doing a little bit of it's going after what it wants to attract and stuff like that. You could have maybe some drama in your family or whatever. Shouldn't be the biggest deal. I mean, I think it'll be okay. Next thing to do that's happening is the solar eclipse happening in your 4th house. So big changes are happening in your home life, your foundation, the way you your living situation is changing. You'll understand in the next 6 months as this energy progresses what needed to change, what need to initiate, stuff like that. So very exciting. You'll see it. Stuff to do with home, family, private life, your emotional side, your intuition, your maternal instincts, how you mother yourself, what you do in your private life and stuff like that. A lot of things are changing at this time. Next thing happening is the Mars conjunct Saturn in your 3rd house. There's going to be limitations in the way you express your ideas, the way you're using your mindset, how you're communicating, how you're going about your day. Your commune might be limited by delays, and like you might run into traffic or something like that, or if you're going like traveling or something like that, or what you want to do in your 3rd house, like around your immediate environment, your neighborhood and stuff like that. There's maybe you need to discipline yourself about certain things that you need to do before, like think about before actually doing them, something like that. Interacting with people, social life, social media, writing projects, rituals, relatives, siblings, short trips and stuff like that. There's going to be limits on that. Next thing happening is the Mercury conjunct Sun. So you're understanding what is being, okay, you're getting the light bulb moment of what needs to change in this area of life for you when it comes to home, family. You're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, being like, okay, now I understand why things are becoming why things had to be delayed in order for us to move forward to implement these ideas. Understand that once Mercury goes direct, and you'll move on from all this stuff. Next thing happening is the sun is entering your 5th house of Taurus. The sun is focusing on your 5th house. This is going to be probably a little bit, bring more ease. This is speaking your language. It's another earth sign. 5th house, creativity, self-expressions, children, fun, desires, love, passions, inspiration, your bucket list items, your bucket list, what you want to do, what brings, what entertainment, something to do like that. This is going to be the focus, and this is what's going to help you ground yourself over the next month. Jupiter and Uranus are forming a conjunction in your 5th house, so if you're into relationships, or not really relationships, but forming dating and stuff like that, this is going to be new ways of dating, or using these outside, outside the box, kind of insights you could do in order to grow, to create more stability, growth when it comes to your creative resources, these hobbies that you're doing, something to do with children, or your playful side, or I don't know if you want to start a family and think about children, or you're working with children. It can be more exciting and stuff like that. You can end up growing from having children or something like that. Big things happening. Then we have the full moon happening in your 11th house of Scorpio. 11th house. This is full moon is happening in your 11th house. Culminating, coming to fruition, fullness, completion, to do with groups of people, friendships, hopes and dreams, your aspirations, opportunities, communities, your audience and stuff like that. Something to do with resources and how you're presenting yourself, because the sun is in your 5th house, and it's trying to ground yourself in order to be more creative, or something to do with that. But having the moon in your 11th house in the opposite sign in Scorpio, it's in its fall. It's going to be emotional. You might have to address some certain things when it comes to friendships, communities, the way you deal with the way you want to achieve your life's goals, working with other people, alliances, social networking with other people, using social resources. The luminaries are going to be in a T-square to Pluto, and these are kind of the financial houses, like I've mentioned in one of the other signs I was talking about. So something to do with money and how you're receiving money and wealth and stuff like that. You might have to maybe address certain things in order to understand what needs to be, faced at this time. But things will start to ease up after this. Okay, after this, Mercury will station direct in your 4th house. Now you're done with this Mercury retrograde. You can move on and blah, 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 and it's stuff to do with family and home situations. Okay, next thing is Venus is entering your 5th house of Taurus on the 30th, or on the 29th, and then Mars will enter your 4th house on the 30th. Venus entering your 5th house of Taurus. Venus loves to be in the 5th house in general. Venus loves to be in Taurus. This is going to be a very enjoyable time as Venus enters your 5th house. You're going to be, attracting more love for people, attracting more playfulness. You're going to be you're going to be finding more pleasures, attracting more pleasures, and surrounding yourself in just stuff when it comes to dating, how you express your love, passions, inspirations, your bucket list, what you enjoy, what's fun to you. Mars coming into your 4th house is going to give you these initiations, these ambitions, this energy to do things around, when it comes to your home, your property, making things happen. Maybe you're actually implementing these goals into maybe moving or something. That's how I see it. Okay, moving on. Aquarius is. Okay. 2 more signs, and then we're done. Mercury will station retrograde in your... Hold on. In your 3rd house. Mercury stationing retrograde in your 3rd house for you, Aquarius. This is going to be, you're going to start seeing why there's delays in the way you communicate, the way you use your mind, and the way you, travel, your commune, your daily ritual, your daily commune, like what you do around your neighborhood. You drive to work, you do this, you run errands, You visit siblings, you go on short trips, you're interacting with people in your immediate environment, writing projects, your social life, relatives, devices, and stuff like that. There's things that are being delayed. There's things you need to go back over in order for you to understand, certain things. Okay, next thing happening is Venus is entering your third house of Aries. Venus entering your third house of Aries is gonna bring more attracting more, enjoyable feistiness, maybe a little bit of adventurous when it comes to like doing stuff around your immediate environment, going on short trips, enjoying stuff with siblings, finding interest, finding stuff that you're interested in with other people in your environment. Venus is in a detriment in the sign of Aries. This is gonna this could have you, going after certain things in order for you to attract what you want. When it comes to like interacting with other people, you might, attract a little bit of a feistiness, adventurous, eager, youthful type of people around in your neighborhood, stuff like that. It could be a little bit of fun, Solar eclipse is happening in your third house. Big start for you. Big start. Huge things happening around this time when it comes to the way you communicate. Let's see. The way you, use your mind. The way you're interacting with people on either in person, online, social media, and stuff like that. Let's see. The way you're maybe using devices, rituals, transportation, your social life, relatives. You'll understand in the next 6 months as this energy progresses. And you'll see why these things needed to change for you to initiate something new in this area of life. It's going to be very exciting too. Big moment too. Next thing happening is Mars conjunct Saturn in your second house. So the second house is about finances, your personal resources, what you value, possessions, priorities. You're being limited when it comes to maybe spending your money, earning possessions, trying to, you want these material items and stuff like that, but you're being delayed. It's like, nope, you have to discipline yourself when it comes to your finances, your personal resources, when it comes to just supporting yourself and earning that security. But you need to understand that, these things right now that are happening in your second house, you'll have to discipline yourself in order to find that stability, that those long-term goals that you want to implement. Having Saturn in your second house of Pisces is still kind of testing your limits, testing your ability when it comes to using your finances and resources and stuff like that. Next thing happening is Mercury coming into the heart of the sun. The Mercury Gazemi happening in your third house. This is basically giving you that light bulb moment, understanding what you need to do to change, and all of these things to do with how you're using how you're expressing your mind, your ideas, your interests, what you interacting with people in your immediate environment. You'll understand things will start to look up from this point on. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll be like, okay, now I am trying to understand. Now I understand a different way of communicating or expressing these ideas. Okay, what's next? Sun is ingressing into your fourth house. So fourth house of Taurus. This is going to bring more stability, more comfort, more enjoyment when it comes to your home life, family, maybe spending time with family, spending more time at home, doing things around the home, fixing up your foundation just in order to create more stability and security for yourself, your living situation, and how this can, just feel better and bring more comfort. Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening in your fourth house as well is expanding the limits of what's possible when it comes to your home life, family, what you can do around your property, maybe getting a bigger house, maybe something that's liberating when it comes to your house and stuff like that. The way you express your maternal instincts and stuff like that. This could be very very exciting. A lot of things are going to be, it's a big time at this time. Let's see. Okay. Next thing happening is the full moon in Scorpio. Full moon in Scorpio. My voice cracked. Full moon in Scorpio happening in your 10th house, culminating, fullness, completion, to the fullest. You know, it's something is coming to an end here when it comes to career stuff, achievements, your life. What is it? Your work life, your work home life. That's like the axis of 4th, 10th house. So, hold on, I need a drink. Something is needs to be addressed when it comes to that. It's not going to feel easy. The moon is in its fall in Scorpio. They're both in a T-square to Pluto in your 1st house. This has to do with, like, you know, how you present yourself and how you use this power that Pluto is presenting for you, and basically bringing intensity when it comes to your family, your home life, when it comes to career achievements, obligations, responsibilities. You're going to have to address this no matter if it feels comfortable or not. Next thing happens, it'll start to get easier though, because Venus will enter your 4th house of Taurus, bringing more comfort, bringing more ease, bringing more, you know, stability and enjoyment when it comes to your home, your foundation, family, and stuff like that. It's going to be a very exciting time. Venus is in our home sign in Taurus, so this is going to be an enjoyment. Maybe, I don't see anything really bad happening. Venus is really just bringing more ease into this energy, into this area of life for you. Mars is entering your 3rd house of Aries. This is going to give you the energy to implement these ideas that have been cooking in your 3rd house. You know, now you understand. Now you're like, okay, now it's go time. Now I can do these things that I want to do that I've been trying to, you know, that have been delayed and stuff like that. Very exciting time for you guys. All right, last but not least, we are going to Pisces. Last one. Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay, Pisces. Mercury will be stationing retrograde in your... Hold on. Dang it. Why is it doing this? Okay, there we go. Okay, Mercury will station retrograde in your 2nd house of Aries. This is going to be, you know, creating delays, and when it comes to your finances, resources, your possessions, what you value, security, finding that stability, wealth, your work ethic, and stuff like that. You're going to be changing these things in order to, I guess, improve, or that's a good word, improve, make them better for your financial side, your wealth, and stuff like that. Let's see, the next thing happening is Venus is entering your 2nd house of Aries. This is going to, like I said, with, I think, another video or another part of this video that I had Venus entering this, the 2nd house, is Venus is going to be, you're going to be, you know, receiving more money, possibly. Venus in the 2nd house, it will attract money. It will attract possessions. Venus is in Aries. You know, she's in her detriment. She's going to go after what she wants. You're going to go after what you want. When it comes to material items, possessions, what you value. Ooh, you see something shiny, you're like, ooh, I want it. I need to buy that. That's kind of like what it's going to be like. It could be interesting. It could be overspending, but it's nice, though. It'll be cool. The next thing happening is the solar eclipse in Aries in your 2nd house. Big things are happening when it comes to your financial side, Pisces. Your wealth, your priorities, values, the way you ingest food, the way you ingest anything. Your savings could increase. Tangible items could be, possible of, like, receiving. A lot of things. You'll see over the next 6 months as this energy progresses, that why these things needed to initiate and plant these seeds for them to grow and stuff like that. And you possibly could increase or improve your finances, stuff like that. Next thing happening is the Mars-Saturn conjunction happening in your 1st house. I mean, Saturn being in your 1st house in Pisces has been, testing your character. Excuse me. Testing your approach to life. Trying to discipline yourself. Maybe it's been a little bit, challenging having Saturn in your 1st house. Having Mars here too. You want to do these things. You're kind of like, I feel like doing this. I'm going to go for this. But Saturn's like, no. We need to limit yourself. You need to be disciplined before, jumping basically jumping before, or yeah, doing something before thinking. First house is about your appearance, your approach to life, your character, your body, your physical body. It's who you are. There's it's a new beginning too. Saturn is beginning and starting a new cycle for you, but it's testing who you are in order for you to become more disciplined, mature when it comes to your approach to life, how you do things, for, I guess, just how you present yourself. Let's see, your identity. You're gonna be wanting to do all these things, but yeah, you're gonna have limits in what you do and how you are presenting yourself. Mercury is conjunct the Sun the next couple days, giving you that Mercury gazemi. You're finally understanding what needs to change when it comes to earning new finances, restructuring your wealth and priorities, and what you're possessing and stuff like that. You'll understand this is the light at the end of the tunnel, or you're understanding you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, I should say, because this is the end of the Mercury retrograde, and you'll understand once Mercury goes direct, you can finally implement those ideas in order to receive new resources, new financial stuff, new security, increase your savings. Okay, next thing happening is Sun is entering your, Sun is entering your third house of Taurus. The Sun is focusing on your third house. This is going to bring more security, ground your energy more when it comes to your the way you express your mind, the way you express your interests, siblings, spending time with siblings, connecting with people online, your social life, doing any writing projects, spending time with relatives, your rituals, your commune, transformation, transportations. These are going to be the things that are really going to be, bringing more comfort and grounding yourself. Having Jupiter-Uranus forming this conjunction in your third house is really, expanding these possibilities when it comes to, anything happening in your local environment, and local community, and neighborhood. Let's see, maybe you're finding new people that have common interests with you, and you're doing things outside the box in order to, find growth when it comes to, educating yourself, or learning a new skill, or, taking short trips, and you're discovering new things around your environment that could really, help you grow, if you understand what you're trying to, again, what this is, these explosions happening in your third house. Many possibilities are happening. Third house has a lot of things, so just kind of pay attention to what happens in your immediate environment, stuff like that. How you're communicating. Next thing happening is the full moon in, did I get that right? Yeah, full moon in Scorpio. Okay, so full moon in Scorpio is happening in your 9th house. This is coming to fruition, completing something, coming to fullness. The moon in Scorpio is in its fall, so this is going to feel a little, deep. It's going to feel a little bit intense, but it can feel a little bit better because it's speaking your language. It's a water sign. You can understand and find a little bit of fertility, or kind of blending these energies, mixing to what it's trying to having you address. 9th house is about long distance travel, philosophies, truth, religion, principles, institutions. Maybe you have to, there's something to do with learning and expanding your truths, teaching. I don't know. There's something to do with learning that you really need to find some balance to when it comes to, because the Sun is in your 3rd house, focusing on your immediate environment. Your moon's the moon being in your 9th house. I could say it's trying to understand these higher okay, so the Sun is in the 3rd house, focusing on the rational lower mind. The moon is in the place where it's about the higher mind. So there's something, I don't know, something to do with learning and stuff like that is really coming to light. Maybe you've been studying or something, or you need to really focus on the details instead of, or maybe focusing on the expanding your horizons and what you need to do. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that's not really what's gonna happen, but I don't know. Having this lunation full moon T-square Pluto, Pluto's in your 12th house. This is going to be, stuff to do with subconscious spirituality. I mean, it can deal with something to do with like spirituality or spiritual like activities, astrology, maybe expanding your mind, and you have to address these emotional things. Maybe it has to do with like politics and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like it's something to do with like communicating and interacting with these people. I don't know. I'm gonna move on. Mercury will station direct in your second house of Aries. You're done with this. You understand now. You can implement these ideas that have been basically renegotiated when it comes to your finances, of wealth, and stuff like that. You can finally move on. Venus will enter your third house of Taurus, hold on, and then Venus. Okay, Venus will enter your sign of the third house of Taurus. And that will bring more ease, bring more security, more enjoyment when it comes to, third house themes, communicating with people, interacting with other people, being more sociable. This is going to bring more comfort and ground yourself and stuff like that. So it could be exciting and stuff like that. Maybe spending time with siblings is going to be more easier, or spending time with the relatives and stuff like that. Yeah, it could be a very enjoyable time and stuff like that. You could be attracting more, interest in meet people online or in social media and stuff like that, or in person. You find common interest and you're like, whoa, I relate to that and I like that. You're attracting all that stuff. Something to do with like intellectual stuff too. Mars entering your second house is going to give you the energy to initiate these things that have been cooking in your second house when it comes to finances, your personal resources, values, money, priorities, what supports you. You're going to be able to understand these things as Mars enters your second house of Aries. If you're still with me, thank you so much. I didn't realize this was going to be 3 hours long, but it's okay. I'm glad I finally went through all these signs and did the horoscope. So please, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my Patreon if you want this early, or just, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's basically all I can say. April is going to be a big month for us, guys. So just take it easy. Things will start to light up as we get to the end of the month of April. And yeah, you'll understand why we needed to go through this storm in order to see the brighter side, the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's about it. I believe that is it. And yeah, okay, so I can, okay, so hold on. I can stop this like that. Okay, right there.